Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone live on this Wednesday evening tonight. So we're going to be talking movies. Yes. So what we're going to basically do is we're going to get a panel on, and we have some of that panel waiting in the background there. But we're going to get a panel on, and we're going to discuss our favorite movies, and maybe we might also talk about movies that we were disappointed in. We're just going to have a nice, relaxing midweek stream where we're not moaning about anything. We're just having a nice conversation about movies. So if you just want to join in the live chat, just remember, leave a comment, and as ourselves, we'll give it an L show. So let's bring on our guests now. We do have a couple of other guests that we're waiting on, but we'll bring on the guests that we do have with us tonight. So we'll start off and we'll introduce our first guest of the night, and it's Scottish Davros.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm pretty good, yourself.
I'm not too bad, my friend. I'm not too bad, and it's nice to have you on board. I'm looking forward to this stream, and it'll be very interesting to see what kind of movies you actually liked when you were growing up. To be honest, Unknown 289 just says Back to the Future is some of the best movies ever made. We will talk about that because they are a favorite franchise of mine. But let's bring on our second guest, and she was with us. When was it? Last week, I think it was. Was it?
Yeah, the Tardis.
Yeah, last week it was when we had that other stream. And I'm delighted to introduce to everybody Purple Lady. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back. Good evening.
No problem at all. It's nice to have you here. As I said, we are waiting on a couple of other guests. I will just actually get in touch with that other guest just to make sure, because he did text me. I just want to make sure that they have the link just in case I have to send it again. But as I said, it is about movies. So, and Problem Being says legend. Daniel, that's in reference to you, of course. Scottish Davros. Hold on. Send you email. All right. Right, we'll see if they come on. If they don't come on, right, if there's technical difficulties, what I'll do is I'll put the link in the chat. And if two of you would like to join in the chat, if obviously me other guest doesn't show up, then I will throw it in the chat. So we have a full panel, so we can get different differences of opinions, because we'll all have different movies that we'll like, and obviously we've grown up in different eras of movies. It's going to be very interesting actually to see what do we have similar tastes in movies. So we'll start off, obviously, until the rest of our guests come on anyway. We'll just start the conversation off anyway. So I suppose how will I start this one off? Okay, right. We'll simplify it for the first one, and then we'll just move on from that. So we will talk about our favorite sci-fi movie, right? If anybody has a favorite sci-fi movie, and we'll start from there, and then the conversation then hopefully then will revolve. And we have our next guest actually joining us just on time actually. So I'd like to introduce first, I think it's the first time on the channel. I'm not sure if it is. Should have happened a lot sooner, but just like to introduce everybody to Geek Union.
Hello, people.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good evening.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't know how much of the stream that you've actually caught. So basically, we're going to just start off with, talking about our favorite movie. So I said I'd narrow it down a little bit, and we'll start off with our favorite sci-fi movie. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go with ladies first. So we'll go with Purple Lady. So Purple Lady, is there a particular sci-fi movie out there that you think is probably the best one that has been made so far? Obviously, we're going to be around for a bit longer, so Hollywood might actually produce something decent, and might actually surprise us and give us one of the best sci-fi movies of all time. But is there one out there for you?
Wow, for me, my favourite, because it's one that is close to my heart, would be E.T. It's one that I grew up watching. It's one that I can always go back to, always enjoy, always brings a tear to my eye every time I watch it. I think it's one of those. It's for me, it's childhood. That's what it reminds me of. You know, the friendship between E.T. and Elliot, the connection that they had. I think it's one of Spielberg's best films.
Yeah, I think everybody knows here. I've said it plenty of times on this channel. I used to have the ET doll. I had the little alien, his little ship, and you'd wind it up, put it on the ground, and it'd move along the ground, and the roof of the spaceship would lift open, and ET would pop out. Yeah, look, I mean, Steven Spielberg, E.T., absolutely fantastic movie. Actually, you are right; it is a tearjerker. If you don't cry at E.T.,
there's something wrong with you.
There definitely is, man. If you don't cry at that last day when he's saying goodbye to him, and his finger lights up and he goes, "I'll be right here," and you don't cry at that moment, Ramajan. Seriously. Right, we'll start with Geek Union. So we've had E.T. from Purple Lady as her number one choice, and obviously because it's one of those good feel childhood movies, I have to say it's up there in my top 10 list if I was to do a top 10 list. But what's your favorite sci-fi movie?
Mine is actually agreeing with Purple Lady. It is actually E.T. It's simply because of nostalgia and me being so scared of E.T. when I was a kid, because you're either like scared of E.T. or love E.T. It's like, but yeah, E.T. is my favorite sci-fi movie and probably is my favorite movie of all time. And Spielberg is my favorite director of all time as well. So yeah, E.T.
Wow.
Once again.
So 2 for E.T. Well, I'm actually, I'm not surprised. Yeah, okay. Daniel, is it going to be 3 in a row for E.T. or have you got a completely different movie in mind?
Well, I don't really know. I think you've obviously got E.T. as you've said, or you've got Men in Black, or anything like that. I don't really mind, to be honest with you.
So E.T. or Men in Black for you?
Yeah.
I like Men in Black, but if I really had to choose between the 2 movies, I'd choose E.T. any day of the week over Men in Black.
Then again, you can't go wrong with Men in Black. So
no, you can't.
Men in Black.
But it is a good movie. The first Men in Black movie, brilliant. The third one wasn't so bad, but I did like the first one. But for me, I'm actually going to be the other one out because, as much as I love E.T., I think there was a better sci-fi movie out there. And for me, it would have to be, well, if I was going sci-fi horror, it'd be Alien, of course, but this is just strictly sci-fi. So I'm going to go, for me, it would have to be Back to the Future.
Oh, great film.
Good choice.
And see, I never really could get into Back to the Future for some reason.
Now, I don't know what it is about those movies, but I've just always had this fascination with these 3 movies. But obviously, we're just judging. But the first Back to the Future movie for me is epic. The second one, it was good, but even Robert Zemeckis himself said, and Bob, they said that they kind of rushed the second one because they did the second and third one kind of to get it together. But yeah, that first movie, anything got to do with time travel for me is a huge thing in sci-fi.
I knew that was the reason why. Something about time travel you're gonna love.
That's it. So for me, that's why I chose Back to the Future. But 3 for E.T. is look. I do agree with you all. Steven Spielberg is an absolute genius. And E.T. He also did Close Encounters as well, didn't he? So, I mean, he has pedigree, and he did Indiana Jones as well. Yeah, but we won't talk about Crystal Skull. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
For love of God, don't.
Right. we've done sci-fi movies that we like, right? So we'll flip it and we'll ask you what sci-fi movie is the test. What one out there that you said no should never be made? What were they thinking? No. So again, Purple Lady, we'll start with you. Is there a sci-fi movie out there you wish you hadn't seen?
Probably it was mentioned in the chat. It would be Jupiter Ascending. It was one that I probably got about half an hour into and then just turned off because it was so awful. Not from a technical point of view. It's just the story was a mess.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that movie, but I will tell you what one I did turn off, and it was only recently. It was that Brad Pitt one, where he was going looking for his dad.
Yeah, I've read that.
The one that was on Netflix. What was it called?
Oh, I can't remember now.
Does anybody remember that? See, it's that bad. I can't even remember the name. But anyway, it was this movie was hailed as epic. And listen, I've watched a lot of sci-fi movies over the years. And don't get me wrong, they haven't made really any great ones in the last. Well, actually, The Martian, that was great. Interstellar was great. I did love Arrival as well.
A lot of people liked Gravity. That was one that I didn't particularly.
Gravity, I wasn't a fan of that one. But I have to say, if the Brad Pitt one didn't exist, Ad Astra, that's what it was. Ad Astra. It was a big pile of crap. I'm sorry. If that I know these sci-fi movies, right? This just bored the crap out of me. It was there was just nothing in it that entertained me. I actually literally turned off the movie. I don't turn off sci-fi movies. I mean, I watched Passenger. What was that one? The Passengers, was it the one with that Borden one where?
Was that the one with
where he wakes a woman up? Where he wakes a woman up? Yeah, that was Borden, but like I could tolerate that. I didn't knock that movie off, but yeah, Ad Astra for me, absolutely awful movie, sci-fi movie. Geek Union for you, awful sci-fi movie.
For me, possibly Cloverfield Paradox, I believe it was.
I forgot.
I hate that movie.
That movie, that disappointed. Oh, after the hype of the second one, because the second one, let's be honest, the second one was actually good. It was like a psychological thriller. It actually was good. And then I was hyped for this one, and Netflix, and it was weird because Netflix just dropped it. And when Netflix just drops something without real promotion, you know there's a problem. So there was already problems with that movie before it even dropped. But yeah, that was this. I agree with you. That was disappointing because I loved that Cloverfield. I loved when he said they were going to expand it, and I thought this is great because I loved the first movie, and I do love the second movie. I have to be honest. I know a lot of people didn't, but I did like that. I mean, what's his name? What's the actor's name in it? Dan Goodman. He's a lunatic in that movie. Has anybody seen it? Actually, what's it called? 10 Cloverfield Lane. That's what it is, isn't it? Yeah. The Cloverfield Paradox. Don't watch it. He's right. Don't even bother. If you like Cloverfield, don't. I agree with you with that one. That actually is a pretty awful one. I forgot about that one. Well done. Thanks for reminding me now. Because
lucky for you.
I buried that movie in the back of my bleeding head. Now, thanks for that. Daniel.
House of Tax is a bad one.
Which one?
House of Tax.
Mars Attacks?
Yeah.
You didn't like that one?
Yeah, I thought it was a bit shit, to be honest.
I didn't mind it. It was a little weird, but
wow, that's a cult classic. Wow. All right. No, listen, you're entitled. If you don't like it, you don't like. Can I ask you though briefly what you didn't like about it? Is there anything in particular you just didn't like? Did you find was it just weird to you?
Yeah, just a bit too out there, if you know what I mean.
Well, it kind of was. I have to. I will be honest with you, but no, I actually think that's so. It's a bit like Eight-Legged Freaks. It's one of those, it's just one of those movies. Yeah, it's a sci-fi movie, but you don't take it too seriously.
Yeah,
You
it was
know?
it's an homage to the B movies, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Mars Attacks. So one movie that I've actually been surprised that someone's mentioned tonight. Wow. Godzilla 1998 was awful. Right, I have to be honest, right? You're going to hate me for this. But obviously, I was a teenager growing up when that movie was out. So I was mad into Jamiroquai as well because he did the soundtrack to it. So I actually don't mind that movie. I actually don't think that movie's as bad as people make it out to be. Yes, it's not the Godzilla that should have been made, but it's the Godzilla that we got at the time. And
Mm.
Matthew Broderick was good in it. And listen, that movie has its flaws, but it's not bad. I do prefer the updated version. I have to be honest. I did like
Yeah,
that one.
I'd
But
have to agree.
but
But I think
it was not the time,
yeah.
1998 Godzilla. That is a tough one because some people do absolutely love it and some people hate it. It's one of those movies that divides opinion, actually. Um, can I ask you very briefly of the new sci-fi movies that have come out recently, like in the last few years, for example, the likes of The Martian, Interstellar, Gravity, I'm forgetting one. Arrival. Yeah. Out of those movies that I've mentioned, which one of those do you think is the better movie?
Arrival.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably have
Yeah,
to agree with Arrival.
Yeah.
yeah, I enjoyed the Arrival.
That movie, listen, the first I remember watching that movie, I was watching it with my little brother. We're big, huge sci-fi geeks, right? We love our sci-fi movies. I was blown away, mesmerized by that movie. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I fully understand everything that was going on because I don't. And I don't even think the writers themselves, they kind of had I just, it's, but it's fascinating because you're watching this movie and basically the premise for anybody that hasn't watched it. So basically, the premise of the movie is it centers around this. Is she a doctor in it again? Is she a doctor? Hold
Yeah.
on. Yeah, she's a doctor, right? And she's asked to basically go with the military, right? But the thing about this movie is there's flashbacks, right? But you don't. The thing about it is you don't know whether you're watching a flashback or not. It's cleverly done. It's only until you get to the end scene and then it all starts coming together and you but then even at the end scene you're kind of like, but hang on a minute, because like it's one of those movies that's the type of sci-fi movie I actually tend to gravitate towards. A sci-fi movie where you're watching it and you still don't know what the hell is going. You have to watch it a couple of times, right? And Arrival is one of those movies you have to watch it a few times, and I still haven't kind of figured out what's going on. All I do know is that she was helping them translate their language for a time when they were going to come to the earth at some point in time or something. Like I still can't figure it out. It's still, can you guys actually, I want to ask you about Arrival. Did any of you guys figure out what was going on at the end, that end scene? And
I had to basically go back and watch it a couple of times to figure out what was happening. But like, and even now, obviously, I'm still a bit unsure about how
Geek Union, I mean, it is one of those movies that's, you know, I mean, you have to be invested, obviously.
to.
And
Yeah,
let's be honest, they did get some criticism because there was people out there that didn't know what the hell was going on, and obviously, then if they don't know what the hell is going on, it's not a great sci-fi movie. But I could understand bits of it. I could understand the main premise, and it was very clever. And even the alien, if that's what you want to call it, or the beings in it, absolutely fascinating. And when they start writing up for the very first time, that very first scene where you see the writing happen for the first time is just blows you away. Did you understand the movie?
Not at first, but then
Right.
I watched it like a second time.
Mm.
I gradually got my head around it a little bit. It's still
Yeah.
fucking confusing.
It
but,
is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. It's so, but it's brilliant. It keeps you. This is what I'm saying. Even though you're kind of not quite sure what the hell is going on, right? You do know that they're translating a language, right? You understand that part, but there's so many different threads in this movie. And look, and listen, I've seen some weird movies. Predestination is another one that I don't know what the hell is going on in that one. That movie is weird. If you haven't seen Predestination, check it out. Tell me what you think of it, and come back to me, and then we'll have a discussion on it. But that is one fucked up movie as well. But yeah, I don't know. I have to watch that movie again. I actually have it on my Sky box there, ready to go, because I just love it. It's listen. If I didn't like Back to the Future so much, because I do. I absolutely love that trilogy. I think it's untouchable, to be honest with you. But if that trilogy didn't exist, those movies didn't exist, Arrival would probably be, to me, be the greatest sci-fi movie ever written, in my
I can
opinion.
agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely holds up. It's one of those films that, as you say, it bears rewatching
Yeah.
several times. Yeah, a great film.
It is a great movie, and the cast in it is absolutely superb. I mean, Amy Adams. I mean, she's gone from one hit to the next. I mean, that woman seems to do no wrong. Jeremy Rayner, the guy that plays Hawkeye, obviously is in it as well. He's very good. And listen, the supporting cast, the story itself is it's just that end scene, right? You kind of think you have everything figured out in the movie, and then that end scene happens, and then I'm scratching my head, and I'm like, but how is that possible? It's weird. It's weird.
It's good sci-fi.
There's a time travel element to it that we didn't even know that was, well, there is. It's prevalent that there is a sort of time travel element, because they make it clear that they're going to come back at once. It's look, I can't explain it, but that's why I love it so much. And you know what? I'll keep watching it until I don't even know that I'd love to know if the writers even know what they were doing themselves, because if they do, this makes this movie even better. It really does. It would make it even better, because then it goes to show you that these guys are not just brilliant writers, but technically, and they're very intelligent people. And I'd love to think that because I thought I had it figured out just until that last scene, and I really did. I thought I had it. I was even explaining it to my brother. I thought I was great, you know. And then it came to that last scene, and I was like, do you know everything I just told you? Throw it out the window. Throw it out the window. It's but I would, for anybody in the live chat that hasn't watched that movie, and now I will say you have to be in the humor, and you have to be into the fact that while you're watching the movie, you have to be listening to everything that's being said, because the dialogue is very important, because they will say something in the movie, and then later on, then it makes sense. It's one. I could go on all night just about that movie alone, but I want to talk about The Martian as well, because I know there's a book. Now, I haven't read the book, but the wife has, and the wife has said that the book is absolutely fantastic. Now, she only recently watched the movie, and she loved the movie. I wanted to know how you guys felt about The Martian, because again, I thought it was another one of those. I thought they were actually on a roll with sci-fi movies, because I think we had The Martian, Interstellar, and Gravity the same in a short period of time. I think it was over a 2-year span we had those movies, and then we got Arrival then. So they were on a bit of a roll with the sci-fi movies. Has everybody on the panel seen The Martian first of all?
I've
No,
not seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen The Martian?
no, I've only seen like little bits here and there. I haven't seen it fully.
Oh,
I've got it on my storage box and everything.
right.
I've,
I don't think
um,
I don't want to ruin
I've
it for you.
only,
So we'll try.
I've only seen bits and pieces. I've not actually seen the full thing.
Right then. Well, we'll forget about right. We'll wipe The Martian because I don't want to ruin it for you if you haven't seen it. Because I thought The Martian was I not scientifically yes I'll agree with you, but it's a good movie. It is. It's a good sci-fi movie. Look, I mean Matt Damon's brilliant. By the way, during the lockdown, Matt Damon's been living in Ireland now. He's obviously gone home to America now, but he has been living here for the past few months. He was so. Matt Damon's becoming an honorary Irishman, so I won't have anybody talking shit about him or his movie. I'm only messing. No, but I do like The Martian, but we won't talk about that. Interstellar, though, we will talk about Interstellar. Everybody's seen Interstellar now, I assume.
Yeah.
Right, what did you just think of that movie? A lot of people think that movie is ridiculous.
I agree to a certain extent.
But on what basis, though? Why do you think? What do you not like about the movie, Daniel?
I just didn't really get invested in it at all.
Purple Lady, are you a fan of Interstellar?
I liked it for what it was, but it was one that I've only ever watched once. Wouldn't really class it as one of Christopher Nolan's best. But I did like the cast in it. I mean, I thought Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, he was very good.
Roles. And Anne Hathaway, I think, was very good in it as well.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was very good in it. Yeah. I actually like that movie. It's a weird one. But I don't know. Geek, what do you think anyway?
Well, I've only seen it once. Don't
Right.
remember hardly anything about it.
Wow. Wow. I'm actually surprised there now. Yeah, I mean, look, I have to be honest. It's for me, I know a lot of people expect when they get a sci-fi movie nowadays that that you kind of have to stick to the if you're going to do something like Interstellar, you have to kind of stick to the science. I'm pretty sure that the scientists that were looking at this movie were actually impressed. I don't know. Look, I will agree. It's not definitely not one of Chris Nolan's best, but it's certainly. I don't know. I think it is interesting. I like the whole concept that there's this kind of plague thing that's crippled their crops, and they're trying to find a way of saving the earth. I think Michael Caine. I like him in it. I mean, he probably has the best scenes in it because he's basically lying to the human race. He basically knows that they're all going to die, but he's just giving them all hope. But then it turns out then that they're it. But it was I liked it. I have to be honest. I liked it. Out of them all, right, that I've mentioned, my least favorite probably would be. Well, actually, we have to stick Gravity in there as well. That's my least favorite. That movie was ridiculous. I don't know what that movie was like to bits for. To be quite honest with you, does anybody want to add on to Gravity? Did anybody on this panel actually like Gravity for starters?
No.
I've not seen it.
Or it has Sandra Bullock in it playing an astronaut. Now, if you know who Sandra Bullock is, Daniel, she did a lot of romance movies back in the day, and she's done a few action movies. Now, she did do Speed with Keanu Reeves. She was in the sequel. I don't know what she was thinking there. She is a good actress, but I just don't see her as an astronaut. When I see actresses like that, you know, and I've seen stuff that they've been in the past. She just didn't look. But that movie was weird. The end was ridiculous. How did she? I don't know how did she survive? Was that the whole point? I don't know whether she was supposed to die or she survived, but I don't know how she actually survived and ended up on a beach.
Yes, it stretched believability a bit much, but
Yeah,
I think Sandra Bullock did better in her role than George Clooney did.
yeah, I don't think George Clooney was actually even bothered, to be honest. He looked at that script and thought, it's just a paycheck. I'll do it anyway. I don't know. Did Sandra Bullock win an Oscar for that? Like, did she not win something for Gravity?
I don't know. I'd have to check for you.
Because I'm pretty sure they won something for that. But that movie is, yeah. I'm not a fan.
No, it was, as you were saying, it was that kind of cluster of serious or trying to be serious sci-fi that was brought out all at the same time.
Yeah.
Rather than like the sci-fi fantasy or sci-fi horror. But I think some of them, they just stretched believability too far.
Yeah, I kind of don't mind that if the story is decent, you know. I mean, they do it in big sci-fi franchises as well. Sometimes, you know, they might be stretching it a little bit, but if the story is good and the characters are interesting, we kind of do let that kind of thing slide, you know, because we want to be entertained basically, and the movie is good. I mean, for example, you know, Star Wars, you know, they've stretched things in the past. Same with Star Trek. You know, Doctor Who. Well, Doctor Who seems to be doing it a lot more lately. Listen, it's such a now with Doctor Bloody Who that nothing's believable anymore. Listen, just actually briefly on Doctor Who. I don't want to go into because we are talking about movies, but I just I have been given information now. I don't know how reliable this person is when it comes to source information, but they texted me last night and told me this brief bit of information that apparently Big Finish are thinking of going into live production, and there is also a rumor that they want to take over production of Doctor Who. Now, again, I will say this. I don't know how reliable this person is when it comes to source information, but this person is known in the Doctor Who fandom, and a lot of people do trust this person. So it's not from the usual sources that I get information from. I just want to make that clear, right? And this is what I was given. So I just said I was going to do a video on it, but there's no point in doing a big ass video on it because it's not really irrelevant to us anyway. Do we care really if Big Finish takes over? There's question marks over Big Finish right now at the moment. We won't go into details because we don't know anything yet. But you know, if you look at their recent announcements, Big Finish has gone full woke, whether you like it or not. And it seems to be that's the way they're going to move forward in the future. But, you know, that's for another day. But there you go. That's the latest Doctor Who news that I've received off someone that I haven't received source information off before. But I will make it clear that this person is known in the fandom and is reliable. And a lot of fans actually, especially classic fans, hold this person dear. So, yeah, that's as far as I can go with that. So we'll see if anything comes of that information. And if I do receive any more information of this person, I will sure let you know. And of course, I will make it clear that it's not from the usual sources because, you know, the usual sources have been great. And they have been 98% spot on. The only information that my sources unfortunately didn't get right was the fact that Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall were leaving. But of course, they were leaving up until last year. And then they had that big meeting and then something happens, and then obviously they're all best buddies again, and everything is bleeding great, and we have to suffer another bloody serious. Right, enough of Doctor Who, because I could go on rant for ages. But actually, we will talk Doctor Who, actually, because it is a sci-fi movie. They did do the Paul McGann movie. Just want to know briefly if anybody on the panel here, I know Daniel's familiar with it. Geek Union and Purple Lady, are you familiar with the Doctor Who Paul McGann movie? Yes?
Yeah.
I watched it, but I haven't watched it for a long time. But I
No,
do
that's fine. That's okay. Right, as a sci-fi movie, forget about the fact that it's a Doctor Who film. Let's just look at it firstly as a sci-fi movie. Where would it rank to you guys? Is it a good sci-fi? Right, is it a great sci-fi movie, good sci-fi movie, mediocre, poor, very poor? You know, that kind of gist. So we'll start with you, Daniel. Doctor Who movie. What is it?
Well, in terms of sci-fi movie, I would say that it's average if you're looking for a normal sci-fi movie, magnifying glass, but I just can't really get into the actual story. I think it's cheesy, and I think that Eric Roberts was some of the most pathetic casting I've ever seen in a movie.
Well done, Daniel. Daniel's not holding back tonight, guys. So, you know, Daniel might have a few more of these rants later on. But I agree with you. I listen, I'm not the biggest fan of the Doctor Who movie, but Geek Union, fan or not a fan?
A fan to the extent it's a little weird,
Right.
But it is a Doctor Who movie, so obviously it's going to be fucking weird. But if calling from like a sci-fi point of view, if you're like new to like Doctor Who and everything, nothing within the whole movie would actually make any sense.
Yeah.
The Master being like the snake creature thing, I don't know what that was about. Yeah, like Daniel said, Eric Roberts, a bit too more like pantomime type villain. But overall, it was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best.
I think everybody is being kind, to be honest with you. Let's be honest, it was a pile of trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the only good thing about it was, let's be honest, is that one of probably one of the greatest doctors that we never had in Paul McGann.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, if he had got a TV show, I reckon he would have went on to be the greatest, even bigger than Tom Baker himself. That's how much I believed in Paul McGann. Now he has
very controversial, no.
I know it is. I know. Now he has come back in recent times in New Who in slight cameos, in brief cameos, I should say. And let's be honest, there's still a will there. His Big Finish audios fly off. Anytime
they're amazing.
They fly off. I don't know if the latest ones will now, because you know Big Finish has decided that they're gonna introduce a transgender companion. Now, I will actually briefly bring that up, right? I don't have a problem if they want to introduce a transgender companion into Big Finish, right? The problem that you have is when you have the person, the actress or the actor in question comes out and says, well, my gender is not going to impact on the story. Well, then why bring it up in the first place? Why bring up the fact that you have a transgender companion in it when people could just buy the story and they would have found out by listening to the story? This is what I have a problem with, and this is what we talk about. You don't need to bring it up every time. It was the same with Bill. Bill didn't need to tell us every 5 minutes that she was a lesbian. We got it. She's a lesbian. Well done. What do you want? A clapper, a pat on the back for introducing. We've had plenty, right? We don't have a problem with that. Give the characters some decent bloody dialogue, all right? So we can get behind them. But again, now I have been told that the person in question that has taken or has done stuff before and has been amazing. I don't doubt 100%. I don't doubt that. The problem that I do have is that they said that this wasn't going to impact the story, but yeah, everything about this audio has been about the fact that we have our first transgender companion. Nothing about the story itself, all about the person that's going to be Paul McGann's companion. I'm sorry.
And then which shame though, because Tom Baker is actually back as the what do you call him?
The curator.
The curator. So like that's been overshadowed in terms of like obviously what you just spoke about.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
didn't want to bring Doctor Who into it, but we were talking briefly about the movie. But a lot of fans right now. It's just, it's heartbreaking. I mean, Daniel got upset yesterday. A couple of people that we know have been bullied offline, and then there was people coming after me and Rabbi last night. Apparently, me and Rabbi are having a relationship, cheating on our wives with each other.
What the hell?
I mean, and then I had this person hound me because they wanted to make sure that I didn't go on to the Doctor Who's official site today because it was Jodie Whittaker's birthday. Now I didn't. Now listen, I didn't even know it was her birthday until that person said it to me. I had no interest in going in and commenting. Right? They've actually sent me a message there. Why haven't you went in to wish Jodie Whittaker a happy birthday? That was sent to me like 10 minutes ago.
No one cares.
Exactly. Listen, it's my birthday on Sunday. Yeah, I'm more interested in what's going to be happening for my birthday. I don't give a shit about a woman that I despise. I told you that already. I made it clear. I despise the woman, so I'm not going to go in and wish her a happy birthday. I'm not even going to waste my breath commenting. Who gives a crap? We don't give a crap anymore. See, here's the problem, right? And I'm sorry to bring it back to Doctor Who for just a second, but I want to say one thing. A lot of YouTubers like myself said we were walking away after Series 12. You were telling us for 3 years that this fandom was no longer ours and we were to get out, right? We finally had enough after the Timeless Children and we were walking away, right? But instead of letting us walk away quietly, you start tagging us in shit and then attacking their friends. Yeah? Okay, so the result of that is we're not going to go away, and we're going to make sure that this show sees its end. Because at the end of the day, this isn't Doctor Who. It's a disgrace to its legacy. Yeah, Chris Chibnall ought to be ashamed of himself. I'm not blaming Jodie Whittaker on everything, right? It's not all her fault. The writing is dire. Yes, we know that. But when you come out and you do a video slating the fans that have a problem with your casting, right? And when you have her fans then come and slate those fans that have a problem with the era, right? Because she's a woman. This is the only reason why this is happening, because she's a woman. Do you think us as Doctor Who fans have never complained about any other Doctor beforehand? I remember the complaints about Christopher Eccleston when he was cast in 2005. About how ridiculous his costume looked. It wasn't Doctor Who enough. He got a lot of stick. I remember when David Tennant was cast as well. Everybody thought he was a bit of a clown. Everybody thought he wasn't going to be up for the role. We even go back as far as Patrick Troughton. Same thing. Someone actually wrote a letter to the BBC when you could write letters to the BBC and actually said, why have you cast Coco the Clown? Right? And look what Pat Troughton ended up doing with the role. All right? The difference is that not only is Jodie Whittaker getting bad scripts, she's a bad actress. End of. She's over her head. This role is too big for her. She should be working as a bit part actress like she has been doing in things like Broadchurch and stuff. She is not a leading actress, and that's just the bottom line. And that's not me attacking her or anything. That's just the fact. You see it in the role. She's over her head. Okay, but it's not all down to her. You're right, but I don't care if it's her birthday. Yeah, I wish her another happy year to come. Yeah, I do, right? Sincerely, I don't wish bad on the woman. I just don't want that part of Doctor Who end of. And the sooner she goes, the better, because maybe then the fandom can heal. Maybe then we can all get together, and then maybe the writers and the BBC will actually care about putting out a show that we actually bloody care about. Right now, I'm disheartened, like Daniel and everybody else. I'm bloody sick of it. And you wouldn't let us go quietly, so we're not going anywhere. And we're going to be just as ruthless as we were before, because you are just nasty, vile pieces of crap. And I've no time for you anymore. Come after me or my friends, and I'll be on Twitter, and I'll be on his back. And I won't stop until he apologise. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. You wouldn't let us go quietly. Keep tagging us in shit, right? Keep poking us. You know what they say, keep poking a bear? Yeah, well, you've poked the bloody bear long enough now. 3 years we've put up with our bullshit. 3 years, and we're sick of it now. We're done with this. We're done playing games. The magazine is struggling because he is. The show is on its last legs because he is. The merchandise is not selling because he is. Right? It's all down to you. Don't be blaming us on the failure of Doctor Who. All you J-bots, all you Jodie Whittaker supporters, it's all down to you. And all the media that you have supporting you, they're responsible as well. Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker, Manit Gill, Tolson Cole, Bradley Walsh, they're all responsible. Not one of them is good enough. Not one of them. And if we actually look at it with cold hard eye, we will say that Graham O'Brien, Bradley Walsh, even though he is probably the best actor that they have in it, he is not good enough as a companion. He's not. Let's be honest. He is not good enough as a companion. He is not the standard that we have, right? Sarah Jane Smith, yeah, Liz Shaw, yeah, Billy Piper, Rose Tyler, whatever you want to call her, right? Catherine Tate, Donna Noble, right? That's the level. They're nowhere near the level. Nowhere near the level. And anyway, it's not all their fault again. Chris Chibnall hasn't given them any decent character arc or any decent story arc. Apparently, Yaz was bullied. If you're watching the show, you wouldn't think she was bullied. I don't know where that came from. Apparently, she's the greatest girl in the universe as well, according to Graham. Yeah, what she actually do, she moans all the time. That's what she's doing. I'm moaning. Now, what does Graham do? Nothing. Graham did nothing. He did kill
like a fool.
The first episode, and then he's been a pathetic man ever since. He's just weak. He's weak. Tolson Cole supposed to have a disability, but yet he's gone around shooting guns like he's playing Call of fucking Duty.
Yeah, and about
disability. And by the way, I live with it every day. Not me personally, my wife. Right? I know what it's like firsthand. BBC is disrespecting it. They can't even do it with a bit of decency. But yeah, these people will say, "Oh, fair play to the BBC. They have a person with a disability on Doctor Who." But yeah, okay, fair enough. Just because they say they have a disability, you have to portray it on screen too. And when you only do a little scene here and a little scene there, that's not building a character arc, right? Let's talk about the biggest problem with the show. And I'm sorry about this for going into Doctor Who a little bit, but this was bound to happen. You know me. But let's talk about the main problem, the main culprit, right? Chris Chibnall. But let's talk about his doctor, Jodie Whittaker, the woman who fell to earth. Right? You watch a woman who fell to earth and watch Resolution. Yeah? Watch them side by side. Jodie Whittaker's doctor has not changed. There is no character development. She has stood still. She has stood still. And that, you know what that goes down to? Several factors. Number one, the writing for starters. But number two, Jodie Whittaker's inability to actually act. She does not understand the role. She never has. Now, I will say one thing. I know our boss, Chris Chibnall, and I will say this, I'll jump to our defense on this. When the showrunner of the show tells you not to watch the show that you're actually starting in, that should be red flags straight away. But I will criticize Jodie Whittaker on one thing. Any self-respecting actor or actress would have ignored the advice of their boss and actually went and watched it anyway, right? Because we do hear it in interviews all the time with movie directors and actors, and they say, well, he told me not to look at it, but I went off and I had a sneaky look, and the director be laughing. He says, well, I'm kind of glad that he did now because he understood. You know what I mean? They always say, yeah, I was probably wrong. You know what I mean? But she didn't. Now, apparently she did then eventually. She went and watched a couple of David Tennant episodes and got scared, and then she stopped watching.
Yeah.
Now, when I hear the woman or the actor, actress, wherever you want to call them, taking the lead role of the show say that, well then it's not. Listen, it was never going to work, or the experiment failed. And I don't take any pleasure in saying that. Look, you have 50 odd years of history, you decide to gender swap the role for no other reason than for political reasons. And that's what it was done for. And we know what it was done for, right? You can try trick us and say it wasn't, it was done for the right reasons and it was done for the show's continuation. No, it wasn't. The only problem that Doctor Who ever had in the last few years, and everybody on the panel, and I'll let you guys jump in, right? Because I know I've been on a bit of a rant for 10 minutes. The writing under Moffat got very stale, right? And I think he burnt out, to be honest, because he was writing Sherlock as well at the time. He had his fingers in other pies, right? So he was kind of distracted, and the quality of Doctor Who did suffer. Now I know I know Moffat takes those things. He doesn't take them well, but that's the reality of the situation. The only problem that we had with Doctor Who was the writing, and if we had got someone in that was a decent writer, Doctor Who would be healthy right now. Instead, we got a hacker clown that comes in, and here again, I will say to the BBC, if you look at Chris Chibnall's episodes that he wrote for Doctor Who, they're probably the lowest rated of the Doctor Who episodes of the eras that they were in, because he's just not a great writer. I mean, dinosaurs on the fucking spaceship. Need I say any more?
I literally don't remember that episode.
It's ridiculous. Dinosaurs, and I mean, look, I know some fans like it, they think it's fun and all that, but dinosaurs if you were going to introduce Rory's dad and bring him on an adventure, dinosaurs on a spaceship was not the adventure to bring Rory's dad on. And I actually like Rory's dad, and I actually thought he had potential to be actually part of the TARDIS team for a couple of adventures, but obviously we knew what happened then. The ponds end up going anyway. But yeah, dinosaurs on the spaceship. Then we had 42.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right, that was the sun one. Right, that was the one where they scoop the sun and then the sun is evil. Yeah, that script had to be rewritten actually by RTD.
Yeah.
We also had obviously the Silurian two-parter, which, let's be honest,
Yeah.
The redesign was shit anyway. But I mean, the story, if you look back at that story, it's a countdown. You'll notice with Chibnall in his early days, look back, 42 had a countdown.
Yeah.
Right? In the Silurian double bill, countdown, right? That's what he uses as a plot device. He doesn't know how. That's why he used Screwdriver with Jodie Whittaker.
And the Power of 3 as well. He used to count
Power of 3.
Oh my God.
Now that Power of 3 was actually his better one.
Yeah.
That was
surprisingly.
I think that was his best story in Doctor Who, actually, Power of 3. And even then, the resolution was a bit, yeah. But yeah. But Chris, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring it to Doctor Who, but we'll go back to movies because I know. But if you just want to add something before actually we finish up on the Doctor Who, if there's anything you would like to add on the conversation or the rant that I just had. Do you agree with me, actually, or do you disagree? If anybody on the panel actually disagrees with anything I said, actually, don't be say something because that's how we, be interested to see if you actually do agree or disagree with me. Because look, at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with people if they disagree with me, right? I have a problem with people disagree with me, but then attack me personally. If they disagree with me and then they add a personal attack. That's the only reason why I go after these people. These people don't understand that if you didn't personally attack me, I wouldn't be coming after you. I wouldn't be going. There would be no retaliation. But anyway, guys, any of you guys got anything to add about Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker before we swiftly move on from this, because I do want to bring back to movies and keep it fun.
I do have one disagreement, kind of.
Come on.
I do feel sorry for Bradley Walsh because he was a fan of Doctor Who. I don't know if he still is, because obviously he was in the Sarah Jane Adventures. Obviously, Daniel, you're watching Sarah Jane Adventures now, or you were, I don't know. but I actually feel really sorry for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a good. Well, I wouldn't say he's a good actor, but I
No,
feel
he's a
really
good
sorry for
actor.
him.
This is what disappoints. No, he is a good actor because he was in Law and Order UK, and he's pretty good in that. And he was in Sarah Jane Adventures as well.
Yeah.
And you're right, he is a Doctor Who fan. I will say, yeah, part of me does feel sorry for him, but he did sign up, and he did agree. You know, to
Yeah.
do. I mean, look, the scene that annoyed me, and it touched a
Or
lot
the
of people,
cancer storyline.
was the cancer scene. Right now,
Yeah, I hated that.
now,
Yeah,
in
that's
fairness,
horrible.
I did blame Jodie Whittaker, but if I was to be balanced in my view, Bradley Walsh as well should have piped up and said something if he thought that was insensitive, that line. You know, I know they're actors and they get paid and you don't want to rock the boat, but they do have some limited, listen, I don't think that's, you know what I mean? A director or a producer is not going to shut them down. They'll listen to them and they say, no, you stupid idea. Get back into your place and read what I tell you to read, whatever like that. But if that had been me, and I know if it was any of you on the panel and you were handed that script, right? And say, Purple Lady, you had to say Jodie Whittaker's lines, and say, for example, one of us lads on the panel was Graham, and we're talking about you that as the actress would look at that script and probably say to yourself, nah, this doesn't sit right. A lot of people, are you sure? Like, you'd question it at least. I know I would.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
would. Yeah, you've got to think about the audience. You know, it's not just a page check. It's not just lines that you're saying. What you say is going to resonate with your audience.
Yeah.
So if you think it's going to offend someone, or you think it's going to alienate someone, say something.
Thing is, it was played for comedy, but comedy really
and it
wasn't there.
I know. Yeah, I agree.
Well,
It shouldn't be played for comedy. That was a serious issue that has affected a lot of families, including mine. I've lost me grandparents. I've lost a few uncles, aunties. It's a horrible disease because it doesn't just affect the people that have it. It affects the whole wider family. That was insensitive, in my opinion. But look, I will agree with you. Bradley Walsh has gotten a raw deal, and out of all of them, I agree with you. I do feel sorry for him, but I do think there is times where he should have. Now, there is the interesting clip of the fan that's on the chase and says to him, that he be a Doctor Who fan. Bradley Walsh's actually reaction is very telling. He knows this era of Doctor Who is shit, and I think that's why he bailed. I think he bailed. I actually think him and Tolson Cole may have bailed.
Yeah.
Now, Manip hasn't bailed because she won't get a job, so she decided to stay on because she's not going to get a job. Manip Gill is never going to work after Doctor Who. I know she's doing
She
something
needs the money.
but she'll never work again. She's a one-dimensional actress. She just, or even on Twitter. Do you ever see her moaning on Twitter? Listen, for someone, listen, she talks about privilege a lot. She talks to people about privilege a lot. This one gives out about a pillow out of debitance, right? So don't talk about privilege, love. Right? You know what I mean. You're in a more healthier position than we all are. You may not have been privileged back in your day, right? I'll give you that one. I don't know your history, but you're certainly privileged now. So, don't be giving me that crap about privilege. You haven't got a clue. You haven't had to struggle now these past few years since you've been an actress. So don't be giving me that crap. And it's actually very interesting because Manip Gill is actually an interesting character. And when I say Manip Gill, I'm talking about Manip Gill. You go and check out our bio. There is very little information about Manip Gill, even on Wikipedia. It doesn't give you our background that much. It just gives you what she's done acting-wise. But it doesn't actually give you personal details like you would if you were checking out anybody else wiki. You'd find out where they went to school, what their parents did and all. None of that. So she seems to be either she's very private or she's got something to hide. I say it's our privilege she's hiding. She's not doing a very good job of it, but there you go. Right, listen, Doctor Who, listen. Sorry, everybody. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I did it again. But that's what I say. Can't even bring up the Doctor Who movie without actually bringing it up. But yeah, Doctor Who movie. Yeah, it's not. Listen, I do hope one day, because there was talk of a Doctor Who movie. If you all remember last year, the rumor was in overdrive. David Tennant, Billy Piper, John Barrowman were all going to be starring in this Doctor Who movie. Never transpired, obviously. We still don't know if it will. But I do hope one day it does happen. But if you're going to do a TV, or if you're going to do the movie, though, this is going to be controversial. But whatever, just don't do it with the TV Doctor. You get Michael Sheen in to play the Doctor. Simple. There you go. You've got your actor caliber, Michael Sheen, someone of that ability, or someone like Ben Whishaw, as some people have said, or Richard Ayoade. He starred in a big movie in America, so he can handle the screen as well. I mean, you know, that's the way it'd work for me. You know, have it kind of, it's still Doctor Who, but have it kind of separate to the TV show, just in case, you know, they do something in the movie that doesn't necessarily agree with the TV show. Do you know that way? But people will accept it because it's a separate entity, but it's Doctor Who, but it's just the TV. You know, because TV shows, let's not forget though, TV shows and movie franchises can slightly go in different directions anyway. They kind of stick to the main core, but they do kind of go on their own little thing. I would like to see a Doctor Who movie with Michael Sheen as the Doctor. I just asked me master, yeah. I'd probably give it to Andrew Scott.
Yeah.
Play me master in me movie. Actually. Yeah. And me companion, who would I bring as me companion? See, you need someone.
Katie Sheridan from Rebecca Go.
You could get her, yeah. You could get Katie Sheridan, or you could get what's her name? One that plays killing Jodie Comer.
Yeah.
Or Comer. What's it? Comer or Comer? I don't know. Right. Well, her. Yeah, I think she'd make a very good companion. I don't know if you have seen Killing Eve, but I've seen she looks like a right lunatic. Why didn't they cast her? See, here's the thing though, right? They cast Jodie Whittaker as the first female Doctor, yeah? Why didn't they cast someone of her caliber, like a Jodie Comer?
I don't know. Short answer is I don't know.
And all of that. Right. We've talked about our favourite sci-fi movies, talked a little bit about Doctor Who. We've talked about those movies that we don't really like. I've got one for you, because we all have those movies that we watch year in, year out. You know? In my household, well, in my dad's household, if Star Wars is shown on TV, that'll be the big franchise that they'll watch. But what movie do they show every year? Because there is movies that they show every year. That
did they not show James Bond every year as well?
Yeah, they show James Bond every year. Yeah. 007. Yeah. Actually, talking about James Bond, are you looking forward to the new movie? Anybody?
I'm not really convinced it'll be that good to be honest. I think it'll be a bit crappy.
No, I agree. I'm not looking forward to it either.
It doesn't look great. Let's be honest. I've grown up James Bond, like probably Geek Union, Daniel and yourself. Kids growing up, it's on every year. Even the Irish station here has a James Bond season every year. It's every year. It's like James Bond every year, non-stop, right? But you know, you still watch them because they're fun.
Mhm.
But yeah, this is the first James Bond movie that I'm not actually looking forward to, which is unusual because, let's be honest, the last one wasn't great, but even this one looks like it's going to be even worse. I just look, when they start talking about a female 007, you killed your audience there. I mean, I don't. These people haven't learned.
What?
If you want a female agent going around killing people like James Bond, well then create a brand new franchise. Don't call it
Yeah.
James Bond. Don't call it 007. You create a different one, right? You could do it. It's easy. The problem is laziness. They just don't want to do it. It's
So make it
easier.
like another Tomb Raider or something.
What are you looking at? What? Something wrong? Oh, Cheryl's just eating tuna, looking at me like, No problem. No problem, woman. No problem. I tell
Well,
you, it's funny.
we already had a female type James Bond film. It was Red Sparrow.
Say that again, sorry.
We already had a female spy film. It was Red Sparrow.
I actually didn't watch that.
I haven't
I've
watched
not,
it either.
and I've not heard of it.
I actually didn't watch that now, in fairness. Is that any good?
I didn't think much of it. No, it's Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, no, yeah. Well, she's good to look at, but as an actress, let's be honest, she's overhyped. I don't get it, the whole Jennifer Lawrence thing. I think she's a good actress, but I just don't get the hype on her at all. There's better actresses out there. Yeah, that's just my opinion on her anyway. Actually, does anybody remember this Sean Connery movie? It was a sci-fi movie back in the day, where he played a cop. Oh, what was it? It was out. Oh, what was it called? What was the name of that Sean Connery movie? It's a sci-fi movie. He plays a cop. He's on Mars or something, and there's a synthetic drug or something going around, and people start losing their crap.
Outland.
Was it called Outpost or something? Outland.
Outland.
Outland. Has anybody seen that movie?
No.
No.
Geek, you haven't seen it?
No.
No.
Listen, seriously, put that on your list. Outland. It's
Okay.
man, great movie. See, I like those gritty kind of movies back in the day. Actually, talking about old sci-fi movies, how War of the Worlds, obviously we had. Actually, do you know what movie I did like? Don't know if you've actually ever seen it, any of you, When Worlds Collide. It was an old sci-fi movie back in the day. It was literally on for an hour and 28 minutes or something. It was like a real short movie, but it was called When Worlds Collide.
I've heard of it. I've heard the title, but I've never actually seen
Yeah,
it.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen.
Well, it was a big blockbuster at its time. They were using state-of-the-art effects and all for it. So basically, a scientist discovers that there's a planet basically going to collide with the Earth. So then they build a rocket because the last of humanity is going to go off to this planet that they found, and they're basically going to survive. But it deals with the whole, the human psyche during a time like this, when basically the world is coming to an end, and what lengths people would actually go through, and the relationships that are formed and relationships that are destroyed. It's actually a great listen. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the greatest sci-fi movie, because it's not, but it's a very interesting movie. I wish they do something like that again, actually, to be honest with you. Someone says it's on Netflix, so if any of you are interested, it's worth even check out the trailer on YouTube, see if it's at, and you will be interested in. But yeah, that is a great movie. War of the Worlds, obviously the original. Any fans of the original War of the Worlds here?
Yes. like the original,
Yeah.
hated.
Yeah, Tom Cruise one, not a fan.
No.
I'm not. No, I'm not really a fan of Tom. I'm not really a fan of Tom Cruise, to be honest.
I'm not a huge fan of him myself now. I think he is a bit of a twat, but I actually did like that version of War of the Worlds. I actually thought it was very sinister. Yeah, I don't know. Where Geek Union, did you like it?
Never actually seen it. I've been trying to. Oh, I've been meaning to get around to watching the Tom Cruise one,
Yeah.
but with
Yeah.
my load of things I've been needing to watch, just haven't got around to it yet.
I don't mind the Tom Cruise one. I have to be honest though. The original one, you know, you're never going to beat the original one. I don't think. But like the Tom Cruise one, I thought it was good for what it was anyway. And someone brought up the thing by John Carpenter. Yeah, that movie was an interesting movie. It's one of my favorite 80s movies. I actually like the prequel, believe it or not. I watched the prequel first, and then I watched the original. And because what I like about the director of the prequel and the people that worked behind the prequel is they actually did their research. They actually watched the old movie. You can see that they actually took the time and the effort to actually go back and make sure that they got every little detail spot on, which they did. Now, is it as good as the original? Of course not. It'll never be as good as the original, but did they do a good job on it? I honestly do think it was a fitting movie into the franchise. Now they should leave it at that. They've done the prequel, and now we have the original thing. We don't need to go any further now. Just leave it at that. In fairness, though, if you were to bring Kurt Russell back and John Carpenter and get a decent script, I might be on board with that, but that's never going to happen. So I don't want another one. If Kurt Russell's not on board for a sequel, another one, I'm not interested. And listen, we don't know. We don't listen. The end of it leaves it open. Did they die? Did they not die? Well, more than likely they did die. Let's be honest. But you know, writers are clever nowadays, and John Carpenter, let's be honest, he is clever, so he could probably come up with something that's believable. It's called The Thing. The prequel is called The Thing. 2000 and I'm not messing, right? The special effects in it obviously are updated, but you will see that these people, this is why I like it, because they took the time and effort to look at the original source material, and they actually then, within their own movie, made sure that you know when Kurt Russell first goes to the station and they find the hatchet and all in the wall, and you see all the death and destruction, right?
Yeah.
In this movie, they show it happen, right? And when you see the detail that they've put in, like in their movie, it is spot on. And do you know how it ends? It ends with the first one, with the original thing. Right at the end, the music and all kicks in at the end. It's brilliant. Oh, I'm telling you, man. Then you whack on the first one, the original one, and it's like as if you're watching the two movies. Then you get the full picture. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. You find out how they how it all happened in the first place, and it's good. It's good. It's worth checking out if you haven't seen it. That's my shout out for sci-fi movie of the week.
Yeah.
Any other? Actually, I'll ask you: is there any sci-fi movies out there that you think are underrated, guys, and you think deserves more recognition? This is your chance now. Is there any movies out there that you sci-fi movies that you would like people that you think people should definitely see?
Independence Day gets a lot of stick.
What gets a lot of stick?
Independence Day.
Yeah, it does, but That's something. I don't know. Do people like that movie? And if you
So,
do, and if you don't,
it's okay. It's not as bad as what people say though.
the prequel is called The Thing. The movie, the prequel to The Thing is called The Thing. It's called The Thing 2000 and so I don't know, but it's there. Look, you'll find it. It's given the net. It's The Thing. You will see the original, and then the updated version will be beside it. They actually just call it The Thing because it's a continuation. It's basically the prequel to the original. Phase. What's that? Phase 5? Phase 5? Yeah. No. Phase 4? No. What's that?
Yeah, phase 4. Well, because it's
Phase 4
nine.
from the 1970s. I haven't seen Phase 4. Never heard of it, Matthew. What's it about? Give us a brief. The film Lucy. Super John thinks the film Lucy doesn't get enough credit. Is that the one with what's her name? Scarlett. Is that Scarlett Johansson? That movie? No. Or is that Jennifer Lawrence? Who's in that movie? See, is Scarlett Johansson? All right. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of that movie, and I do like Scarlett Johansson. But is there any? Yeah. So guys, you in the panel. We'll start with you, Purple Lady. Is there any sci-fi movie out there that you think doesn't get enough credit and deserves some recognition?
I really liked Sunshine. It was directed by Danny Boyle.
Ah, that's the one with what's his name?
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy. That's the one where the son, isn't it? That's that actually I remember that movie.
It was one of those films that came out, and I think people liked it, and then it's kind of just disappeared into obscurity. But it's a tight film. I think it's really well shot.
No, I remember that because my parents are actually fans of that movie, believe it or not. And I remember watching it with them. To be honest with you, I didn't know what the hell was going on. It's something to do with the son anyway, wasn't it? But yeah, that actually is probably worth checking out again. Actually, I haven't seen it in a few years now. But yeah, what I remember of it, it was very dialogue heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's one of those movies. There's a lot of dialogue and stuff. Yeah, I remember that. Star Trek 4, a really great film. Says Spitfire Mark 1A. Oh my God. We'll say nothing. I'm saying nothing. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm saying nothing. The Cyborg says Problem Being. Again, it was one of those movies I know of, never watched. So I can't really give an opinion on that. But Geek Union, is there a sci-fi movie out there? We've got Sunshine from Purple Lady. I think that's a good show, actually. What about yourself?
Well, it took me a while to think of something. I started looking on Google. District 9. I think that's pretty not too bad of a movie. And I'm surprised that no one actually mentions about it, or no one actually knows of it. But yeah, it's not too bad of a movie. I haven't seen it in a while. I got it on DVD, might watch it later, I don't know. Yeah, basically aliens attacking, then humans have to
No, District 9 is actually a good movie. There was supposed to be a sequel to that never actually came about. Actually, that annoyed me because, the ending, the ending was nice, but at the same time we were like, yeah, now we have to see the second one. There has to be a second one. But it didn't happen. He ended up going on to do what was that one with the robot? What was the other one that he did with the robot in South Africa?
I'll try to look it up now.
Oh, what was the name of that movie? Actually, is anybody seen while Union Geek is checking that out for us? Has anybody seen Hardcore Henry?
I've not seen it.
No, I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
It's kind of like shot like if you were playing a computer game sort of thing, and it's basically about this let's say superhuman, if that's what you want to call him. I think it's superhuman or cyber. See, I kind of forget, but I only seen it once. But it was filmed in a way. The filming of this movie was weird. Actually, I don't know if I'd be able to stick up the trailer if I'd get away with it. But if you haven't seen it, check out the trailer, Hardcore Henry, and let me know what you actually think of it. It was an interesting movie. And it did well. I actually have to say it was actually praised for its camera work because it was shot in a style that we'd never seen before. So, but the story kind of Hardcore Henry, it was called.
Was it called Chappie? Noel?
Chappie, that's the one. He did Chappie, yeah, and that didn't do too well. But I do like Chappie, but it didn't do too well. But he was also rumored to be doing the Alien movie, Alien Boys.
All right.
Now, the script apparently was all ready to go, but then, of course, Ridley Scott then decided that he wanted to do his own. And we got Prometheus, and then we got, obviously, David's Covenant. I don't call it Alien Covenant because it's David's Covenant, because basically this is what it was, right? Man creates android, android creates monster, therefore man created monster. That's that whole movie, Alien Covenant wrapped up in one sentence. That's what that movie was. I thought now he's come out recently and he's talking about going ahead with these other, that all of a sudden now there seems to be a will for these other sequels to be made. I would say to Ridley Scott, and this is no disrespect to you, but you create something fantastic, but sometimes it's best that you take a step back and you let other people continue the work that you started, because you clearly have a vision that isn't in line with the vision that fans actually had for the franchise. You want to get into this whole God versus creation myth kind of thing, and we don't want to know. Listen, you ruined the lore of the Alien anyway, so thanks for that. We didn't want to know that. They were a mystery. We liked the mystery of them. We got little snippets about them. We got a little bit of snippets about how they come about and stuff like that. When you totally reject, when you look, he ruined his own canon. Jesus Christ, we had aliens that were coming out of people's bodies and grown straight away, for fuck's sake. And that shower scene, I remember my brother saying when we seen the trailer, he said that shower scene looks very cringy. And I said, this is Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott doesn't make cringy movies. This is going to be a great movie. Don't worry, it's all in your head. And then we watched it. And I have to be honest, I'm a huge looker, like a lot of yous on this panel. I grew up with that franchise, right? Alien 3, let's be honest, it's shit, right? It's not the movie that Dave Fincher wanted to make, but because too many people stuck their noses in. But the first two, absolutely fantastic. Alien 3 wasn't bad, but Alien Resurrection, absolutely disgraceful of a movie. The better. But they had a chance to do something wonderful with this franchise. Don't get me wrong, Prometheus wasn't too bad. I did like the twist at the end, but other than that, it was a pretty mediocre movie. And Aliens, I don't know how you guys feel about Aliens Covenant, or David's Covenant as I call it.
An absolute abomination.
You don't like it, Daniel. Purple Lady, are you a fan?
Not at all, no. It was almost a Frankenstein story. You know, very little to do with the actual alien mythos.
And Geek Union.
I haven't actually seen it.
Oh, good. Don't do yourself a favor and don't ever do it to yourself, because you'll be making a mistake. You liked Resurrection. Listen, Resurrection had good concepts. right? It actually did. It had some pretty good concepts. But when you give Sigourney Weaver the executive producer role to entice her back to do the movie, you already know that the movie is dead in the water. She wasn't did say after Aliens that she was actually finished with the Aliens franchise. She even spoke about how she wouldn't let her kids see it at the time. I remember she said she was finished, but then all of a sudden, then a few years later, then rumor then that there was a third movie being made, and then we got it. She should have stopped after the third movie, definitely, but she didn't. She was enticed back. They threw a load of money at her, and we got Resurrection. But
It's all
then,
about money.
yeah, but then they were actually having a decent script for Aliens 5. And if you haven't seen, there's a YouTuber, I can't remember his name, but there's a YouTuber on YouTube and he deals with aliens. He's a big aliens fan and all his videos are on aliens. He does the video games and he talks about the movies, the whole lot, right? He actually was able to get details and show some concept art that was created for this fifth movie. And it was going to be set on Earth. And Ripley and Hicks was actually going to be in the movie as well. And apparently Newt was also going to be in the movie. And they were going to be back on Earth finally. But then obviously then all shit breaks loose. And then, of course, it's left to our heroes to save the day. But it didn't happen because Ridley Scott then decided, no, I want to do it. It's all about me because I'm Ridley Scott. It's my franchise. I'm going to take it over now and do it. And you ruined it. He ruined it. I have no interest in another Alien movie now. Have you?
No.
Nah, because he destroyed his own canon, as you said.
You can't have too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. But to be fair, I also feel that way about the Predator franchise.
Yeah, I like the Predator
Yeah.
fan. Well, let's be honest, we got two great movies. I did watch the Alien versus Predator movie. Now, I have to be honest, I have a soft spot for that movie, even though it's not the greatest. But I have seen the extended version, which kind of gives you a little bit more, which made the movie even better, in my opinion. But the rest of the Predator movies that they've made after that, I haven't been a fan of. Personally, no. I don't know what you guys think of all the other Predator movies that have came since, but I haven't been a fan of any of them, I have to be honest.
Nah.
I wasn't. They, again, the same with the Alien. They just kind of extended it and kind of pushed it further than it really needed to, giving them too much backstory, too much, they took the mystery away. I think
That's what I mean. There does seem to be a thing where they want to kind of ruin the origins of all, or reveal the origins of all of these creatures, but we don't want the origins because that's the whole mystery, isn't it? I mean, to me
Yeah.
now, know the origins of the alien or the xenomorph, whatever you want to call it, kind of ruins it now for me. Like I'll still watch the other movies, but I kind of thinking in the back of my head because this is what happens. I'm watching these and then I'm thinking back to what happened in the other movies, and I'm like, oh, but I know how they're created now. It's not as good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it takes away from everything that came before it.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I hate when they do that. And they think they're being clever, but they're not. They're actually not being clever at all. Why don't they reboot Gremlins?
Oh, Jesus, no.
Oh,
Said
no.
me.
Please
Right.
don't. I like
Gremlins. That's a good movie. The first one was.
Yeah,
New
the
Batch,
one was.
Gremlins: A New Batch wasn't particularly a great movie. I have to be honest. I didn't like it. But the first one's a classic. No, you don't reboot the Gremlins for the simple fact is that it wouldn't be the same. It's like one of those movies. It's set around Christmas as well, so no, it wouldn't be the same. Sure, look at what they rebooted Annie a couple of years ago. Now I know people were saying that the rebooted version was actually good, I haven't personally watched it myself, but why would you reboot a classic like Annie in the first place? Gremlins is the same. I don't think you should reboot classics like Gremlins or Back to the Future or E.T. for that matter.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain movies that are untouchable. Actually, talking about untouchable movies, let's do that. Untouchable movies in your opinion, movies that should never be rebooted, remade, or get a sequel. You could choose from any of them. I know that's a broad, but you could choose from any of those. But we'll start off right. We'll simplify it. Movies that should never be remade. Problem being, says Ghostbusters. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had that problem with Ghostbusters, but I am actually looking forward to Ghostbusters Afterlife. It looks decent enough. The Untouchables, says Colin. I agree, that should never be touched. Back to the Future, never ever, says Blue Bonnet Hoovian. That's not going to be touched. The two writers have actually come out and said that's a no-go. Well, they did say over their dead bodies, which in Hollywood to me seems to be a dangerous thing to actually say. You know, just say they're not going to be made, but don't say over your dead body. You know, Jaws. Right. I'll say something. The first Jaws movie, no, but every sequel that came after it, I wouldn't mind them remaking.
Yeah, I agree with him. You in the chat, he says 2000 and on a space odyssey. I agree with that.
Yeah, they shouldn't have touched Blade Runner either, says now I do know there's a lot of people that did like 2040 that was it 2040 the Blade Runner movie, yeah. A lot of people did like that movie. You know what, I couldn't get into it myself. So Labyrinth, I'd agree with that one, but I think they are remaking that one as far as I know. That is actually happening. I think. I think there's a sequel happening to that one, isn't there? It's not a remake. I think there's a sequel happening to that one. Is that Labyrinth is the one with David Bowie? Am I correct? Yeah. There is a sequel happening. Do you want Tilda Swanson, wherever her name is? Yeah. Do you want her to play? Do you want her to be to play David Bowie? Well, not David Bowie's part, but do you want her to be in that movie? So that is being remade, as far as I know. And same with Scarface. They're actually remaking Scarface again. Listen, we've got the original, and then we've got the Al Pacino version. We don't need another one. So leave it out, you know.
Yeah,
but, boys, I'll ask you, what movies do you? I'll ask you guys, what do you think? What movies do you think they should never touch?
Like I would say, like the Order Rings trilogy. They shouldn't touch the Order Rings.
I agree. And you know what? When Lord of the Rings first came out, I have to tell you a little secret here. Well, it's not going to be a secret anymore. But when Lord of the Rings first came out, I found them absolutely a pile of rubbish.
Oh, no way, no.
Seriously, I hated them with every fiber of my being. Then one day, I'd only recently moved in here, and I had my PlayStation 3. And I remember I had the 3 movies on my PlayStation 3, but not just the 3 movies. I had the extended cuts of each version. So I was sitting here. The TV wasn't obviously connected because I was waiting for the TV people to come and connect me. And they were the only 3 movies and Man of Steel that were on my PlayStation 3. So I said, "Fecka, I'll sit down and watch the first Lord of the Rings movie again." It was 4.5 hours or something, right? The extended cut, 4 hours and something, right? Watched it. I was like, I was so enthralled that I actually put the set. I stayed up. Look, to cut a long story short, I stayed up. I think it was altogether about 11, 12 hours, and I watched the three Lord of the Rings movies. It's probably I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but it's probably one of the greatest. It's one of the greatest. It's not the greatest. It's one of the greatest trilogies ever made.
Mm-hmm.
It's up there with Back to the Future. Because I think that is a great trilogy. It does have its problems, but again, you overlook certain things because the overall payoff is what I look for, and the overall payoff from Back to the Future. Listen, if anybody dislikes those movies, again, I would look at you and say there's something wrong with you. I don't think there's. I don't know. I don't know anybody that doesn't like Back to the Future. I haven't met anybody that doesn't like Back to the Future. So I'll be very surprised. But Daniel said Lord of the Rings, Purple Lady, a movie or a movie franchise you think they should never ever touch.
Movie, I would say Taxi Driver. Probably Robert De Niro's best role. Jodie Foster was fantastic in it also. It's just a really well acted, well written, and violent film, and it just doesn't need to be remade, rebooted in any way.
I know, I agree with you on that one. I agree. I love Taxi Driver. Robert De Niro was brilliant. He was actually in another favorite movie of mine as well. The one with Leonardo DiCaprio, was it called? That Boy's Life or This Boy's Life or so, was it?
Boy's Life, yeah.
Yeah, where he's a total prick. Yeah, yeah. I love that. I love De Niro. I love Al Pacino. Joe Pesci. Obviously, love the movie Goodfellas as well. Godfather. The Godfather trilogy actually
Mm-hmm.
is another one that actually shouldn't be touched. To be honest with you, great movies. The first one's great. I think the second. I don't know which one, which one of the three is your favorite out of the trilogy. Now, there's always a big, huge debate because some fans will say the first one, then other fans will say it's definitely the second one, and then you'll have other fans will say it's the third one. But then you'll have fans that will say that the third one is the weakest one out of the three. For me, the best one out of the three is definitely the second one.
I would agree.
Any of you guys on the panel seen the Godfather movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which one is your favorite out of the three?
For me, I would say the first one is my favorite.
Okay.
Although I think a lot of people would pick the second one as well. That's one that kind of picks up. That's what
I mean. It's a bit of a 50-50 between those two, isn't there? I think everybody agrees that the weakest one is definitely the last one.
Yeah.
Well, I think so anyway. I know the end one has an epic scene in it. The last one does, but the second one I think is just the far superior. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but yeah. But I do agree. Godfather shouldn't be touched. The Omen trilogy actually shouldn't be touched either.
Mm-hmm.
But they did do an updated version of The Omen already, so that kind of null and void there, actually. But the updated version of The Omen, I will say, look, you won't beat the original, and you won't. The original, there's just, look, they did horror better back then. They don't do horror great nowadays. But again, you can see that these people that were making this movie took the time and effort to give us something that, that was recognizable, but put their own little twist on it as well. And I thought it was a clever movie. It was never going to be as scary. The kid in it was never going to be as scary as the original kid, because that kid, when I was a kid, that kid scared the shit out of me. I was like, if I have a brother like that, I'm going to drown him. Right? Just save the world from all the heartache and drown him. Right? Done. And then that dog. And that oh yeah. even the bloody creepy feckin' babysitter. That's yeah. Oh, that movie. I have to watch that again, guys. Any other movies? Any other movies? Tootsie. Yeah, Tootsie, don't do that again. Footloose. Yeah, Footloose with Kevin Bacon. Don't remake that either. Sure, they did it with Dirty Dancing and it didn't work. So you're right. Yeah, you don't touch any of those movies either. It's like Pretty Woman as well. No matter what your thoughts are on Pretty Woman, you can't remake Pretty Woman. Well, you definitely wouldn't be able to make Pretty Woman in today's society. Let's be honest. You wouldn't get away with that. You know, actually, it'd be the other way around. If you made Pretty Woman today, it wouldn't be called Pretty Woman. It'd be called Pretty Man. The man would be the prostitute, and the woman would be the big businesswoman paying him for the week or whatever it was in that movie. But that's the way.
2020, yo.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Don't give them ideas. though.
Yeah, you can't do Ghost, but it would be a lesbian movie for sure. Says Problem Being. Ghost is a classic. Actually, I'm a Patrick Swayze fan. I'll hold my hand up and say I actually am. I think he was a talented actor. You could see that he could dance as well, but he seemed to be a pretty nice, down to earth person. It's just sad in the last few years since he's been dead that a couple of women have came forward and basically because he can't defend himself, come out and basically say that he did something to them. But of course, it'll never be proven because the man is dead, and these people never seem to have evidence either. You know. Actually, I did want to ask you something because this is kind of relevant about women, the way they go on in Hollywood. And Purple Lady, I want to get your opinion on it as well. Obviously, being a woman, you'll be able to give probably a better opinion than the rest of us guys. But Amber Heard, right? This whole situation with Amber Heard. Now, there's rumors now that her defense team have quit, right? Now, I wanted to ask you, now we've all seen, obviously, over the past year, the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing get very nasty. And we've seen some footage. We've obviously heard the way Amber Heard treated Johnny Depp, and she severed his finger. We've all seen the images, right? So it turns out that she's the bully, right? So she tried to accuse him of being the bully, but it turns out that she actually might be the bully. Here's the question I have to ask: with the guy from The Flash obviously being sacked or being let go because of what he did, I wanted to ask you why should Amber Heard firstly step down herself, or do you think she should be sacked? Because I believe that if you're going to sack your man from The Flash, now what he did was apparently he choked the fan. Now I did see the footage, and he did slam this fan down. Now whether it was a joke or not, he shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have put his hand around a woman's neck in the first place, even if she was annoying him, and even if you know what I mean. That's what celebrity look at. If you're a celebrity, if you're in the film industry, this is what happens. You know, you as a human being have to find ways of dealing with it, right? At home on your own, you can break down all you bloody want, but you don't go and attack fans. So he was rightly removed, right? Why isn't? Can I ask you, why do you think, firstly, Amber Heard hasn't been removed? And second of all, do you think she should be removed? Now, the evidence that we have seen is overwhelming in favor of, let's be honest, Johnny Depp. It does show that the abusive person in this relationship happened to be her and not him. Now, I'm not saying Johnny Depp is perfect. Let's be honest. We all know Johnny Depp isn't perfect. But to accuse him of the stuff that she accused him of, and then for it to be turned completely on its head, and we have recently heard the footage, we've seen we've heard the audio, and it's quite startling because this woman clearly does have an anger issue. Why is she still? I can't understand why, unless you can explain it to me. But why is she still in the job? Because if that was one of us, if that was a man, like everybody thought was Johnny Depp, he was cancelled, right? Why hasn't she faced any sort of action? I mean, she should be sacked from Aquaman 2 anyway. if there's going to be a court case, yeah, and
Mhm.
there's going to be then while that court case is going, they should drop her anyway until it's resolved. And then if it turns out that she is innocent, which we all highly doubt now anyway, but if it did turn out she was innocent, then obviously then she could get some sort of compensation or whatever. But why is she still employed?
With Amber Heard, I think one, she was at the time a much bigger star than Ezra Miller. What Ezra Miller did was terrible, but it was caught on camera immediately.
Yeah,
With the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, it was a lot of hearsay to begin with. It was he said, she said, until the evidence started coming out. And as the evidence piled up against her, I think, yes, she should have been fired. I think she's a liability now to the film. And clearly, if she is as abusive as the evidence suggests, yeah, she wouldn't be working. It's double standards. It's hypocrisy. Then she said, Johnny Depp nearly got cancelled for what he apparently did.
yeah.
But we have the evidence for what she actually did. It's all gone very quiet.
Yeah, I just saw the article yesterday. So apparently, yeah, our defense team apparently have all decided that she basically doesn't have a case. I think that the video was dropped by Clownfish TV. If anybody wants to check it out, but yeah, I don't know. See, the only problem I have is we seem to be in a culture, as you've seen, if a man is accused of acting without any evidence being presented, that man is losing their livelihood. But yeah, we have actually heard the audio. We've heard how abusive she has been. We've all heard it. Like it's indisputable at this stage. What baffles me is that she still is in a job when poor Johnny Depp, let's be honest, as I said, I know he's not perfect. And yes, I will agree with you to a certain extent. She was the bigger star at the time. Her star was on the rise, and obviously Johnny Depp had done a couple of duds, and his career was stalling a little bit.
Yeah.
But
yes, but in the past,
talk about equality in the world. If you're going to cancel Johnny Depp without any evidence, then surely to God, when we actually are presented evidence of a woman doing what she did to Johnny Depp, she should be for. There shouldn't even be a question. We shouldn't even be still talking about this. She shouldn't still be in the role. And apparently now, she's playing a bit of a victim online as well, given all this saying that Johnny Depp's defense team is using dirty tactics. What dirty tactics? They're presenting the evidence. Mate, you basically beat your husband up. You severed his finger because you have anger issues. Now, I have a whole different theory on this whole thing. Younger actresses going out with older male Hollywood stars. I actually think there's a bit of a thing going on. I think it's deliberate, to be quite honest with you. And I think it's to try Me Too, most of these, and ruin their careers. Because let's be honest, Johnny Depp star might have stalled a bit, but he's still Hollywood royalty,
Oh gosh.
And the thing about it is, these men are still powerful, even though their careers might be. And I think there is a deliberate. Seriously, have you noticed a lot of these younger actresses all of a sudden going out with older actors? There's something going on, man. Holly, listen, I could see it a mile away. This is the Me Too, actor after actor after. And thanks be to God, Johnny Depp finally did the right thing, because he wouldn't do it, because this is how honourable he is. He wasn't going to say anything, but she kept poking and poking and poking and poking and poking and telling lies about him. And then he said, fuck it. She's going to play dirty. I'm going to play dirty. Here you go. Here's a bit of audio for you. It's game over. And it was. She needs to be locked up. She needs to be sacked from Aquaman 2. And we need to get someone. But I want to ask you, who would you get to replace Amber Heard to play her role in Aquaman. Don't get me wrong, she was actually good in Aquaman, Amber Heard, until I found out what she actually did. She's not actually bad looking either, let's be honest. She's a bit of eye candy, but now, you know, what man would want to get into a relationship with that psychopath? Apparently, she beat up a girlfriend a few years back as well.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, she was in a relationship with a woman, and apparently that woman, what you call her, had to call the police. She had to get an order out on her because she was beating her up as well. So this woman has a habit. She needs help. She shouldn't be doing Aquaman 2. The woman is clearly unhinged. She needs help. She shouldn't be making movies yet because she obviously can't handle the pressure. See, this is what's probably happened to Amber Heard. She probably can't handle the pressure. She's probably had to go to auditions where men weren't so nice to her. And it does happen, but it's not just men that do it, but it is mostly men, let's be honest, in Hollywood that make the decisions. We know that. But she probably did get treated like shit. And then she got with him and she got with another man or got with anybody and thought, like they all do, like Brie Larson, well, I'm not going to let another man, woman or whatever fuck me over again. And then they become hard and they become like her. But yeah, she shouldn't be still there. She should be sacked. Who would just get to replace her anyway? If Geek Union, if it was in your hands, Aquaman 2, and you are the casting director, and you had the problem of replacing Amber Heard, who would you replace her with, and why?
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Because even with the whole transgender movie that she was about to do and everything, she still came out and said, well, if I get the role, it's not because I'm not transgender or anything, but it's because I was talented for the role. So,
Yeah.
and that's what Hollywood doesn't seem to understand now, is it's all about talent. If you don't have talent, then you shouldn't get the fucking job. It's that simple. So yeah, Scarlett Johansson, because she's spoken out and she's spoken out the truth. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson.
That's not a bad choice at all, actually. I like Scarlett Johansson as an actress. She's, yeah. And again, forgive me for saying it, but she's not bad to look at either. And she can kick ass. We've seen her kick ass quite a lot. So, you know, she's capable of doing it. And she is a good actress. I mean, there's no, like, look at, even before she was the Black Widow, as we know, she was in a movie that I like years ago. It was the only Michael Bay movie that I actually like. It was called The Island. And she's in that, and she's good in that as well. She's got great acting range, actually. Yeah. Daniel, I'll let you pick your choice. While you do that, then Purple Lady, if you want to add on, I just have to fly out for 2 minutes if you don't mind. So if you don't mind just continuing on there, I just have to leg it out for 2 minutes. So who would you, Daniel, you just tell me who you'd replace.
I would actually agree with Geek Union, Scarlett Johansson, because basically she's one of the most talented actresses right now in Hollywood, and obviously, as you say, that she's a bit of eye candy and stuff like that. No? So basically, kills two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. She is a great actress. For me, probably you need someone that can pull off the physical side. So Margot Robbie is really good at that as well. She kind of nailed being Harley, although Birds of Prey wasn't a great film. I think she's got the character down. So, and she seems to be like a really nice person, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, she seems to be quite down to earth and likable.
So, a quick question for you guys: are you on board for like remakes and everything, or do you think it's all because of needing money and all that? Because one movie that I didn't want them to remake was The Lion King, and obviously that came out like last year or this year, whatever.
Well, to me, I think it's all down to like the creatives in Hollywood and in the film straight up bankrupt creatively, which means they've got no idea, and they've got no idea how to come up with new ideas, so they keep going back to what's already been tried and tested, and by doing that, it kind of kills the more classic movies.
Yeah, definitely, Dan. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think, especially as you say, that seems to be the way with Disney. They
Yeah.
know the
Yeah.
product that sells. They know people love the animated films, and they bank on nostalgia.
Yeah, I was literally just going to say banking on nostalgia. Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any that I've actually enjoyed that have been the remakes. Not really, to be honest. I've seen
Yeah.
a few of them. I mean, things like, as you said, The Lion King was pretty terrible. Beauty
Yeah.
Right, I'm back. Sorry about that little delay, folks. I just had to leg it downstairs real quick. Open the door for someone. So, have I missed that? Right. Well, we got a £2 super chat off Rebecca Gold. Says, have a coffee on me, Noel. Cool stream so far. Thank you, Rebecca Gold. Really appreciate it. Mega Geeks, Rebecca Gold. If you haven't checked it out, go
Oh, that's an
on their
awesome
channel.
It's
series.
amazing stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Why is there so much controversy about casting attractive women to appeal to heterosexual men and lesbians, but not about the likes of Jason Momoa for women and gay men? I do agree with you. Me and Cheryl were having this conversation actually about that, where she's on Facebook groups where they actually put up pictures of Jason Momoa. There's actually a group where a load of women just leer on these big buff male actors. I'm sure that those male actors in question wouldn't be offended that women are leering all over them, but as soon as it's a woman, apparently it's a crime. Listen,
Yeah.
you look at comic book magazines, right? You look at the way women are portrayed in comic book magazines. There's always been that sexual element to it. But these women aren't weak women. These women can kick their ass, can kick the ass. They can stand side by side with their male counterpart and kick ass just as much as I said as their male counterparts. There's not. I just hate the way they write modern women characters nowadays, especially strong lead women. They seem to write them they can't write them without using the weakness of a man. There has to be some, you know what I mean? It has to be, oh well, the women became strong because a man was a bastard to her, or this woman became strong because men oppressed her and she had to you know what I mean? All this crap. Like there's no like, you know, you can't have a woman like a male lead that has this tragic story that, you know, that has lost everything or whatever and has decided to go on in a big revenge fucking kill everybody, right? You can't have that because you can't. I know I've even noticed as well with female characters nowadays, they try to write them masculine instead of writing them like characters. They're women. They're gonna have flaws. Women have flaws just as much as men have flaws, but you've got to write them with their female flaws. Just like you write men with their male flaws. It doesn't work. Not everybody is a super fucking Ray. Or a Karen. No, Karen is when you slag. It doesn't matter, right? You know the point I'm trying to make. The point is you make these characters interesting. You know, you don't have to have any agenda. You don't have to be female characters. Don't have to have got there because a man fecked them over somehow, right? Just make them. Do you know why people didn't like Ghostbusters 2016? Because all it was a big hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes of slating men. That's all that movie was designed for, and now he wants to stick a 3.5-hour version. Well, you could stick a 3.5-hour version where the sun don't shine because nobody wants to see that abomination 2016 Ghostbusters. Keep it locked in the vault and never ever show that to the world.
Yep.
Agree.
But Geek Union, I think you were asking people a question there before I walked out. What was it you were asking anyway? Because I know while I was gone, you were continuing on. What was it?
What are thoughts on remakes, and if all because of money? And Daniel said about creative stuff like banking on nostalgia and not having fresh ideas and all that. So yeah, no. What's your thoughts? Do you agree with remakes? Do you think like we've all agreed, banking on nostalgia and everything?
Right. If you were to ask me this question 2 years ago, I would have had a different answer for you. And the answer would have been I don't mind remakes if they're done properly. But we have seen now that they're just incapable of remaking a classic movie. Yeah, they do bank on nostalgia, and they hope that that draws in an audience. But again, if the people behind the movie put the time and effort in to actually do it justice, then a remake can work. As I said, the examples I will give are actually The Omen. That was actually released on my birthday. Actually, 21st of June. That was released on back in the day. I actually went to the pictures to see that. Um, and as I said, the prequel to that is actually very good. Well, that's not really a remake though. But remakes can work if you get the right people behind them. But in the climate that we're in now, I don't want any remakes whatsoever. Because even the movies that they're producing with fresh ideas are crap. So how do we
Yeah.
expect them to do a movie that? And listen, the thing about a remake, as you know yourself, the source material is already there for them, right? So they can hardly feck up, right? Yes, with remakes, you have to put your own spin on it, or basically you're rehashing the whole movie again, and nobody wants that, right? But if you're going to add your own little thing to it, you've got to make sure that it actually fits in with what you're trying to do. And a lot of remakes don't. They try to push the boat where it doesn't work. And yeah, right now I would not be a fan of remakes, but as I said 2 years ago, I would have been a fan because you know I was at the stage where the movies that they were producing are shit anyway. Why not have a few remakes? Because we're familiar with the movies, do you know what I mean? Let's see what kind of little twist they put on it or little take they have on it. It might actually be good. But now, listen, if I had my way, there'd be no movies being made right now. None. No TV shows, nothing. Because the people that are in charge are all talentless hacks. They have no talent, right? They don't hire for talent anymore. And that's why another reason. So no more remakes. Forget about the remakes. Remakes don't work anymore. Um, Even the movies they make today don't work anymore. There's a few exceptions, obviously Joker. I do love that movie. Listen, people have said, "Oh, that movie's just overhyped because you all hate all and you're just hyping that." No, it genuinely is a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. Seriously, that movie is just seriously when he's the scenes with Robert De Niro, it's stellar. Stellar acting and Joaquin Phoenix. Look at Joaquin Phoenix is has always been a fantastic actor. But this is the kind. This role was he was born for that role, that Joker role. Now talk of a sequel. Me thoughts on that? No, no sequel, please. Leave it. It was perfect the way it ended. Just leave it at that. A once-off movie. I'm happy. What you can do now is, right, you've seen that these movies do work out, DC. So what I'd say to you is I'd go into my old back catalogue and pluck out another character or pluck out a character that not many people know about. Yeah? But a character that you know is dark. Yeah? And do movies with them. Do a dark friend. Listen, I want adult DC movies and I want adult Marvel movies. That's why, in a way, when the fourth Deadpool came out and it was rated. What was it rated? What did he rate it now? Was it rated X? No.
TVMA over in America.
Well, yeah. Well, anyway, it got a R rating. That's what it was. R
Yeah.
rating. Right. When I seen it go an R rating, I was absolutely delighted because I thought finally we're gonna get a comic book movie that is gonna be bloody as hell, and it was. It's just a pity they messed up the second one. Deadpool 2 was shit. Sorry. If you go back and watch it, it was shit. It's a crap movie. It's crap. It's absolutely dire. I just can't stand that movie. Even the end scene with Hitler's baby, cringy. Didn't like it. It was like, nah. Why didn't you just keep it like the first movie? See, this is what I hate about sequels. When they make a good, great, successful movie,
Yeah.
you think, let's go bigger. And it's always, let's go bigger. Do you ever hear the term less is more, Hollywood? You know?
Yeah, I believe it, you know.
Yeah, I didn't like the second movie. Now, you guys might have liked the second movie, but I didn't like it as much as I loved the first one's a masterpiece. Look at when you got Wham in a movie like that and it works, then I'm a fan because I'm a fan of Wham, you know. But that and the little cartoon, the little animation coming up on the screen. What other R-rated movie would that actually work in? It wouldn't. Only a Deadpool movie. And Ryan Reynolds, perfect casting. And I know it's a role he's wanted to play properly for a long, long time. I'm glad he actually did. I'm just pissed off that he produced that second shit. So we better get it right for the third one. If there is a third one.
Yeah.
Or we might get X-Force the movie. X-Force. And the other one was The Force Awakens. What are we talking about? Star Wars. The less we say about Disney Star Wars on this channel, the better.
Oh my
Well, I
God.
will say one thing. The best Disney Star Wars movie that they've made up to date is Rogue One. Without a shadow of a doubt. And that's the movie that didn't even that's a movie that didn't even need to be made in the first place. Which is ironic. The movie that nobody wanted ended up being the movie that everybody liked. That is the best Disney Star Wars movie. It still does have its flaws, but compared to the other three that they've produced and Solo, let's be honest, it is the better one. I don't know. Maybe you guys, some of you preferred Solo. I don't know. Do any views on the panel actually like any of the Disney Star Wars movies?
Apart from Rogue One, there's not really one that I would say that's actually particularly good. And so, and I'm Solo and the Last Jedi, but absolute abominations. To be honest with you, I didn't like Solo and the Last Jedi, and the right just Skywalker was shit as well. So. Honestly, I was embarrassed as a Star Wars fan by Star Wars, to be honest.
Purple Lady, I think I already know your answer, but Purple Lady, I'll ask you anyway. Is there any of the Disney Star Wars movies that you actually liked?
I'm gonna have to agree with the rest of the panel. I did enjoy Rogue One, but I didn't think much of the Jyn Erso. I didn't think she was a particularly great character. She was quite wooden, I thought.
Yeah.
Haven't seen Solo. I didn't see Last Jedi, and I didn't see Rise of Skywalker because The Force Awakens just kind of killed it for me.
Well, at least you're honest, and you're right not to watch the other two movies because I wouldn't do that to yourself if I were you, because I did, and I'm not even what you would call a die-hard Star Wars fan, and even I puked in my mouth a little bit. So yeah. Geek Union. I suppose you're probably going to say the same. Is it Rogue One?
Well, Rogue One is the only one of the Disney ones I've actually seen.
Oh.
So I'm going to have to go for that one.
Well, listen, again, you've saved yourself a lot of bother. So don't do it to yourself. Just listen, just my advice to you is, if you haven't seen them, pretend those movies don't exist.
Yeah, don't bother, please.
That is the greatest advice I could give anybody in life.
Yeah.
If you have not seen these movies, do yourself a favor and don't, because you'll save yourself a lot of heartache. Because if you see what they do to Luke Skywalker's character, you're gonna cry.
Oh,
Especially if you're a Star Wars fan, you're gonna cry. You're gonna be absolutely gutted. Listen, all that rage that you've seen out there isn't fake rage. It's genuine. It's heartbreak. You can even see by Mark Hamill himself, the man has lost the will to live.
Yeah, I have seen a couple of interviews with him.
Yeah, he's heartbroken.
So,
He's heartbroken. Apparently, he broke down crying on the set as well when he found out what they were going to do to his character. These people that are in charge of Star Wars don't give a shit and never will. And yeah, I think it's time for people to boycott Disney once and for all. I've said this for months now. That even means not going to see their other movies. Just because you don't like Disney Star Wars doesn't mean you bring the kids to go and see a Disney movie. That defeats the purpose. You've got plenty of old Disney DVDs at home that you could show your kids, or Blu-rays or whatever it is. I wouldn't be bringing my kids to see a Disney movie. I wouldn't be going and supporting Disney or buying any of their merchandise in any other way. You need to listen. You need to actually hit these companies where you can, and that's financially. Remember, without you guys watching their product, buying their product, and buying the merchandise for that product, they wouldn't be around. So we're important to them. Yeah, we're the ones that keep them afloat, the fans.
yeah.
So when they start disrespecting the fans, start putting out rubbish like that and calling it Star Wars, if that's not good enough, well then you speak with your pocket. You don't buy anything. Because I do hear a lot of YouTubers say, I'm gonna boycott Disney. And then the next day it's like, I'm gonna buy Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Well, I know Baby Yoda is cute, and don't get me wrong, I secretly want a Baby Yoda myself. But the thing about it is if I give money for a Baby Yoda, that money is going to Disney.
Get it second hand.
Yeah, second
If I can get a Baby Yoda second hand, then fine. I won't even say anything if anybody would like to get me a Baby Yoda for my birthday. But I'm not going to buy a Baby Yoda myself, because I wouldn't know. If you're going to boycott Disney, you boycott Disney. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Now I know it's going to be hard for some. It's easy for me to say because my daughter's growing up. It's easy for me to say, well, don't bring your kids see Disney movies. I know it's going to be hard, but if there is ways that you can explain to your kids that doesn't upset them. Kids are supposed to be all intelligent nowadays. Apparently at 3 years of age they can identify their gender. So if they're able to do that, then they're able to actually comprehend that. Listen, Disney is bad. We're not going to see Disney. The mouse is evil. He's always been evil. Actually, just to let you know, they've been selling sex to our kids for decades now. So, it's time they stop, which they have. You look at Disney movies, you look especially the ones that they've done lately with the adult humor in it. Obviously, they do put that adult humor in because when we go to see the movies with our kids, we're not going to be bored shitless. Yeah. But still, I'm uncomfortable with the fact that a Disney movie puts in some adult humor for a stuff that's supposed to be for kids. I've never been comfortable with it. And Disney doesn't like mothers because it kills off mothers as well. Yeah, it has a thing for killing off mothers.
Yeah.
And one father in the Lion King.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It broke the trend there with the Lion King. Yeah. Yeah, that live action movie. I haven't watched it. I won't watch it. I don't care. Good.
Don't watch it. It's not.
I like the cartoon. I like Elton John, The Circle of Life. Get away. That's the Lion King, right?
Yeah.
Same with Aladdin as well. I don't want the live version of Aladdin. Listen, It might have been good. I've heard good things about it, but I didn't want a live version of Aladdin. Someone said Snow White does. Oh no, we won't go there, you Matthew.
Oh, oh Jesus!
Well, don't get me wrong. Don't be surprised if there is a live action version of those real classic stories like Snow White, the Seven Dwarfs, and
Oh, it's going to happen. Anything that
they will, because Disney's run out of ideas, so they're going to their back catalogue now. They're thinking, and by the way, we call them live action movies, but they're not. All they are CGI rendered movies.
Yeah.
So, in fairness, what they've basically done is it's basically like animation, except they've used CGI. So nothing in the movies is actually real. It's all green screen. So even Disney, look, Disney's ran out of ideas. Walt Disney was the brains behind Disney, let's be honest. He was the ideas man. When he died, Disney went downhill anyway. They've never really, let's be honest. I mean, name a decent movie Disney has made in the last 4 or 5 years.
No, it's all been the remakes. Disney.
No, I can't name a movie at all.
Exactly. It's all remakes, Purple Lady. I mean, they just don't have any imagination. And this is what's happened with the writers. I'm not saying there's not talented writers out there. There is. Unfortunately, they're being overlooked for the cheaper option or the option that has certain political or ideological beliefs. Ideology. Oh, I can't even say the word because I'm tongue twisted now. But you're not cast on talent anymore. You're cast on your belief system, what gender you are now. Now it's becoming with BBC, it's skin colour now. BBC and ITV, by the way, in the UK are looking for new staff. But if you're white, forget about it.
Yeah, I did hear about that. It's stupid.
If you're white, forget about it, because they're only hiring people of minorities. That's the way they put it. If you're ethnic minority, if you're an ethnic minority, now is your time to go to the BBC and ITV. You'll get a job. You'll get a job. And listen, you might even need the qualifications, so you'll be fine. I'm not saying that people of minorities are not educated. I'm just saying if I was a person of minority, but I'm not, I'm not, as you would call, greatly educated, even though I went to college and all that stuff. But like even me, if I didn't have a CV, I'd probably walk into BBC or ITV now. The only problem that I have is that I don't have the only problem that I have is that I have white skin.
Yeah.
You don't need talent. Look at Monique Gill. She a talented actress?
No, she doesn't.
Truthfully, is she a talented actress? No. She was in Hollyoaks, for God's sake. What's Hollyoaks? Right? Is Jodie Whittaker a talented actress?
No.
No. She was in what, apart from what? Did someone say apart from what? What was Jodie Whittaker in that she was actually good in? Anybody?
Nothing.
Nothing. Even Broadchurch, she played a grieving mother, yeah? And she was hardly in that. But yeah, apparently that's one of her greatest roles. Yeah, give me a break, will you? We don't hire talent anymore. You just have to look at who they have in their TV shows, who's actually writing and producing, right? They're all hacks, right? Look at Star Wars. Star Wars is a perfect example of a movie franchise that can be, when you get a bunch of talent, and listen, do you know what the problem is? You know what annoys me, Purple Lady, Daniel, and your Geek. You know what annoys me? I'll tell you what annoys me about the whole situation is all the source material was there for them.
Yep.
When it came to the Star Wars franchise, there was no way they could have messed up because all the source material was there. But they messed it up. How can you mess it up if you have the source material there? Well, you messed it up because you've no talent.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have any that's allowed to shine anymore, which is a shame because Star Wars could have been something great for this generation. Unfortunately, now it's going to be discussed. It's going to be, well, it's not going to be discussed in a positive way.
Yeah, it's going
Never.
to be ripped apart right away.
Never going to be talked about in a positive way. Even in a few years,
Is it gone?
Phantom Menace. I can tell you this already. I already know what the Phantom Menace will look back at these movies in a few years' time, and they'll have the same opinions, and it'll be it'll just be everything that they said. Look, at the Phantom Menace was right all along.
Yeah.
Nobody listened to them. They were ridiculed for ages. And then when the rumors and the leaks all start coming out, they were attacked even by the mainstream media. And look what happened. Everything that they told us was right. The Phantom Menace is there for us all. Remember, they might deal primarily with Star Wars, but the Phantom Menace is a group of fans that said enough was enough. You know, we want our entertainment. We want our childhood programs, franchises that we grew up with to be respected. You know, and I wouldn't be around. And I say a lot of the other newer YouTubers that are out there nowadays wouldn't be around if it wasn't for the Fandom Menace. Fans are important. These people are ignoring us right now. And we might get little victories here and there with this Snyder cut. That's one example. Netflix reversing their decision on Back to the Future. But apparently it wasn't Netflix. Apparently it was I don't know. But apparently it was they got an edited version of the movie, and then when they realized it was the edited, they rectified it anyway. But Netflix is trying to say they didn't edit the movie. But we have seen that, and we also have seen now recently, because of all the stuff that's going on, that a lot of movies are actually going to get cancelled. And we will actually do a stream on that, guys. If you are up for it, maybe we could do we'll do a stream on movies. Do you know what we could do? A movie on streams that we think might be cancelled because of the current situation. Because I have plenty of movies already.
I'll get a couple.
Just for one example, a movie that I think they will get around to, but they haven't got around to right now, is American History X.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get to that.
Yeah, that'll be cancelled, but so too will Bill Asian sad films as well.
No. Blazing Saddles won't be touched. For the simple reason is because of the man himself, Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
Right. Mel Brooks himself has always come out and says that it's been a piss take. Everybody knows it's been a piss take. Listen, Blazing Saddles has been controversial to the knobheads that everything is controversial to. But to the fans, to even mainstream audience members that have only seen probably the film once or whatever, know what it is. This movie is not it's not a racist movie. It's not. It's actually highlighting the racism and taking and trying to, take the piss out of the people that are basically racist. So no, I don't think Blazing Saddles will be touched. But in saying that, Daniel, with all the madness that's fucking going on now, God knows. But Father Ted is gone. Father Ted is going to be definitely gone.
Yeah, and all these other comedies that you get it up with in the 80s and that, no, they will all be cancelled as well. And it's not just that. No, you've seen this with at the start of the 2000s, to Britain is one of the most popular comedy shows at the start of 2000s. That's been cancelled now. That's been banned off all the major streaming networks.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to get that. I think so. Like, if you haven't, try and get it physically as quick as you can, because that'll all be incinerated.
Yeah, exactly. Buy the physical media. Yeah. Daniel is right. Go out there and buy as much physical. Listen, there's plenty of stores like CEX, GameStop, and all of those other little places there. DVD not knockoff shops, DVD £1 shops, and all that do all these DVDs for little or nothing, or Blu-rays for little or nothing. Go in and buy them secondhand if you have to. Even charity shops, right? But buy physical media, because physical media cannot, they can introduce new physical media edited, but there's a lot of it out there that's unedited right now that you can get your hands on. So try get as much. Listen, I used to say to people, there's no point of buying physical media anymore. Now I've been shouting it from the rooftops. Buy as much physical media as you can before they erase the whole lot of our past, because this is what these lunatics want to do. Now, Critical Drinker has done a video actually on the whole. He brought up Gone with the Wind and stuff, and the fact that movies like this are under threat. And he actually puts forward great points, as he always does. So if you haven't checked out Critical Drinkers video on that, you should, and share it as well, because again, common sense will always prevail in situations like this. When you've got YouTubers like Critical Drinker that bring common sense to the whole situation,
absolutely fantastic.
becomes clear. But we will do that stream, guys, because I think that'll be a more. This one was brilliant stream. Don't get me wrong, but that one's going to be a very fascinating one to see which movies or TV shows you actually think might be cancelled because of this. I might need a disclaimer. We can probably name a few offhand now. As I said, American History X, as Daniel has mentioned, Blazing Saddles, but I think that might be actually okay. I think all of Mel Brooks' movies will be fine, to be quite honest with you. I don't know why. I just have a funny feeling for some reason that everybody knows what his movies were. Schindler's List is another one I throw in there. I know
all of Tarantino's movies might be cancelled.
Tarantino will probably be cancelled, because they've always criticised. But you have had Jamie Foxx and Samuel L. Jackson come out and defend the uses of the words that he uses in his movies. So I'll be unless they've changed their tune, which I doubt they have. And listen, Tarantino is a wanker, right? If you haven't seen videos of Tarantino when fans have caught, he's an asshole, right? This fella takes no prisoners. So if you think they're gonna cancel Tarantino, they've been trying for decades. They won't cancel Tarantino. He is fine. He'll be fine. He'll still make the movies that he wants to make. Trust me. Nobody's gonna stop that man from making the movies he wants to make, because he brings in the money. He brings in the money. And at the end of the day, this is what this will be all about, right? So I think people need to just take a step back, right? There's an issue with racism, yes. But taking down movies and TV shows,
it's not going to solve it.
Well, it's not where you begin anyway. You begin with the issues at hand, which is it's systematic, right? The politicians, right? We've seen it in recent weeks. There's a will from the people, right? And it doesn't matter what skin color. There's a will from the people that this issue of racism is sorted out. So what I say to the politicians, you're the people in power, right? Instead of distracting with all of these cancelling TV shows and actors and actresses for stuff that they did back in the day, why not actually sit down and actually sort out the issue at hand, which is the racism, right? And then we can look at movies and TV shows when the time comes, and yes, we might have to reassess certain stuff, okay? And that will be acceptable and fine to a certain extent. But when you start going mad and crazy and saying, well, this movie has to go because of that line, because there's one stupid little line in the movie that someone finds offensive, then that's where I think we're going to go. First it'll be this, then someone else will be offended by something else, and then they'll start pulling movies and TV shows from that as well. Go and sort out the issue, which is racism, but sort it. The politicians need to sit down with the people, make the laws that need to be put in place, right, to make sure there shouldn't be any racism in 2020 anywhere around the world. Anywhere. That's just the fact of the matter. But I think the people around the world have proven that they want that to change. So it's up to the politicians now, the people, you guys are in power. It's up to you, because you are the guys that we look for to sort out these issues. So sort it out before this goes way too much. Before there's no listen. Before we know there'll be no TV shows and movies to watch, because everything will be offensive.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yep.
And then where do we draw the line? It's getting crazy. Just sort out the issues that need to be sorted out, so we can all be happier in our lives and actually sit down and enjoy entertainment again. I'm sick of it. Gone with the Wind, I'm actually pissed off with. Now, I know they did put a disclaimer up, and I get why they did, but you didn't need to make a big song and dance about it and take the movie down in the first place. Again, it's like this whole thing with the transgender thing. Don't make a big issue out of it. Just sort, if it's not going to affect that, and if you were going to put the movie back up in its whole entirety, right, and you were going to put a disclaimer on it, you didn't need to take down the movie in the first place and make a big song and dance out of it.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
want to make a big song and dance about it because they want to show how virtuous they all are.
Mhm.
You know, well, look at us. We're all virtuous. Yeah, we stand with our fellow humans. Well, that's expected of you, you idiots. Like, this is what I hate. Like, I hate all of this. Like, Jesus Christ, man. World's just, it's lost. It's,
Wokeness kills everything.
yeah. Yeah. So, guys, you want to do that stream next Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
Right, well, grand. So there you go, guys. Next Monday we'll have the same panel on. We might try rope in another lady with Purple Lady, because let's be honest, she had three lads on with her, and
That's pesky white males.
pesky white male. So we have to put, because I'm all about balance on this channel, you know, and equality. Who's virtual signaling and now? I'm only messing. Listen, but we will get another panelist on. I seen Blue Bonnet in the join the stream for next week, movies that and TV shows that we think will be cancelled. You're more than welcome. You can let us know either here or messenger later on. But yeah, so before we go, guys, just obviously you all have channels, and this is the bit I love. We get to the end of the stream where I can get you to flog you our channel. Before we do, though, if the moderators could do me a favor, because Daniel's here with me now. Daniel normally is the one that throws the links in first. If you could throw the links into Geek Union, Purple Lady, and Daniel's channels, really, really appreciate it. So, who wants to start first? There's anything up and coming on your channels, guys, that you just want to let people know about? We get you a bit of promotion out there, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all their videos and all that crap. You know, yourselves, man.
well, yeah, I'm back on Tuesday. Actually, I'm back. I'm back with another live rant. Basically, with us that we've been actually talking about. So you'll actually get to hear an extended sort of rant from myself on Tuesday night about it. So yeah.
Well, it's good to see you back, Daniel, again.
Yeah, Dan.
Yeah, because you know, you shouldn't let that discourage you from doing, as I said, what you want to do. Listen, you love doing your YouTube channel. I know right now Doctor Who's in a bit of a shit, right? We all know that, right? And it is hard, right? But you do something that you enjoy, which is your Big Finish audios, right? And you review them. Continue to do that. The stories is what matters, is what I told you yesterday, right? Last week. I told you that's what matters, the stories. And the stories are good. So don't let any person out there connected with Doctor Who in any way upset you or ruin your enjoyment for that said audio. Seriously, you shouldn't, because then they win. Then they win, because then you walk away and then you're done, and then that's another real fan gone. That's what they want. They want us to go. They want us to walk away one by one. right?
Yeah.
We are entitled to be here just as much as they are, if not more so, because we were there's a lot older than me that follow me that have watched it from the very beginning, right? They've grown up with the show. We've all grown up with the show. I'm not saying that the people that support it now haven't grown up with the show. They probably have, but they haven't grown up with the show the way we've grown up with the show, especially classic era. They've only got New Who. That's their bar. So New Who to them, some of them don't even realise that there's a classic Who.
And
Seriously,
they,
you're actually having a conversation with one. They didn't
and
even know that classic Who existed.
but you see, I started off with a new that I've obviously went back through everything.
Yeah. I don't know, man. These people are lunatics. Anyway, I don't have time for them anymore. Except when they come after me, then I'll poke them with a stick for a while because I'm bored. Purple Lady. Obviously, you have a channel up and running. Have you got anything coming up on the channel?
Yeah,
And let everybody know the name of your channel as well, actually, so everybody knows what channel they're actually going to be subscribing to, so they don't subscribe to some random person out there.
oh, thank you. Yeah, it's Rise and Shine with the Valkyries. So we go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2 p.m. UK time. You can also find me on Loki's Mornings of Mischief, which is 2 8 a.m. Central because he's American. Yeah, we do live streams, and today we had on as heel versus babyface. It was awesome.
I had him on. I will say one thing. After his appearance, my subs went up, so don't be surprised if you see your sub count go up when because
He is absolutely fantastic. I enjoy his videos.
he came on here, and you know what? I think it was the first time I actually was on a stream where I didn't get a word in edgeways. And could you imagine that, a stream where I'm not actually talking? Well, it actually happened.
I don't believe it.
Actually, there's over 1,600 people have watched that video now. So yeah, he fair play to him. I mean, I asked him short notice, and he had no problem coming on. And the bigger YouTubers, I will say, like Gary and Az, Ballstreck as well, do a lot for my channel.
They're great guys.
And you know, especially Gary and Ballstreck, the two of them. Obviously, I've only gotten to know as like the rest of us these last few months. But in the conversations I had with him, and listen, as I said, I asked him if he wanted to stream, and he didn't hesitate one second. So, guys like that, they get a lot of stick.
Yeah.
But I tell you one thing, I wouldn't be still around if it wasn't for Ballstreck and Gary, because I got a bit disillusioned with the channel at one stage, and those guys gave me the boost, as they do. They're always there for me. If I need to text Gary about Anton or a Ballstreck, they're there. And that's what I like about them. They're not just you might just know them as YouTubers, some of yous, but I've gotten to know these guys personally. And I say some of yous on the panel have gotten to know them as well. And they're the nicest guys out there, and they get a lot of stick. And all they do is they give their opinions, and they basically give the same opinions as basically most of the fandoms out there. Remember, there's only a vocal minority out there. Unfortunately, they are very vocal, and they do have a lot of backing. But the majority of fans in every fandom, whatever fandom they're in, that's being whatever show, movie, or whatever it is that's being ruined right now, we're angry, we're sad, we're upset, we're disillusioned. You can see it. Even when they announced there was going to be more Star Wars movies, nobody was excited. Same when Time Lord Victorious, there was an initial excitement, then a few days later died down. Then when the next announcement was made, nobody gave a crap. It's like they've sucked the life out of every fandom. I mean, is there anything before we end this stream and before I ask Geek Union what you have coming on your channel, just before we
Okay.
leave, I just want to what was the question I was even going to ask? Oh,
Is there anything you're looking forward to? Any fandom? Is that the question?
was there any? Oh, was it? Was it? Daniel, do you know what? I don't know. I think that might have been the question, but Daniel's question is good. I think that's what it was. Is there anything? Yeah, actually, it was that. Is there anything that are actually coming out in the next, say, year or so
And
that you're actually genuinely looking forward to? Because I
um,
can tell you now, there's
and
for the first time ever, I'm not looking forward to anything.
and the Tom Baker, the David Tennant crossover audio, I said I would actually review that as well in August when it comes out.
Yeah,
So I'm really looking forward to that as well. Two sets of Daleks as well. RTD era Daleks and like the Genesis Mark One Alex, and then obviously you get Tom Baker and David Tennant. It's the first time in 3 years I've actually got excited about anything Doctor Who related.
yeah. So for you, it's Doctor Who. Purple Lady, is there anything for you that's coming out? It doesn't necessarily have to be Doctor Who. Is there any movie or TV show or anything that you're looking forward to coming out and you actually have high hopes for?
For me, I'm at a bit of a dry spell at the moment, similar to you. But I suppose if I had to pick one, it would be the next Doctor Strange film for the Marvel MCU.
Yeah, I did like the first one. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Doctor Strange too. I hope they don't ruin. I hope now. I just listen. Please be good. That's just
Yeah,
please be good.
it's the good.
Look at if it's a decent storyline, we're halfway there. At this, isn't it sad though that we're actually just hoping that the storyline is just half decent, so it can just give a pass. But right, so for you, Doctor Strange 2, Geek Union, is there any movie or TV show that is coming out in the next year or so that you're looking forward to watching?
Not really. I'm waiting for the last episode of The Walking Dead to air.
Right.
But apart from that, probably not, because I know for a fact it's going to be like woke, so it's like kind of no point.
Well, I'm going to surprise you all here. I am actually looking forward to something, but it's probably not what you all think.
What is it? Orville?
The Orville. That's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the best sci-fi show that we have at the moment, other than The Expanse. Now,
I've not seen it. How'd you get it?
The Orville.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched that on my quote-unquote Android box.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. We're not supposed to really have one of them.
Yeah.
But I think what station in the UK is showing it? It was. Oh, do you know what it's on? I don't know if you have it. It's on Fox. So if you have a Sky box, you have Fox. It'll be
I've
on
got
Fox.
it, yeah, I've got Ox in that.
But then it's on Fox. So the next time it comes on, Sirius link it, and then it'll come on. But that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm actually looking forward to the third season of The Orville, because the fourth season it was fine in its feet. You could clearly see it was, but I thought the second season matured, and I think he found settled on what they wanted to do. And I loved some of the stories in season 2. Actually, they are quite amazing. Some of the stories were quite amazing. So I can't wait for season 3. And I'll just plug as well Lost in Space, actually, because even though some people are saying there's woke elements in it, the difference is with this though is that the story actually comes first. It's interesting. There's a bit of there's signs in it as well. Now I will say season 2 did kind of concentrate a little bit too much on how great the family Robinson was, but other than that, there was interesting concepts in it, and I actually can't wait for season 3 of that either. There's a huge budget gone into it. You could tell that these actors, even the actors and actresses in it, they do actually care what they're trying to do, and you can see that the writers do actually care what they're doing. They are trying something different, and they do, like most TV shows, they do have little woke elements in it. But as I said, it's the stories that actually rule the roost. And again, as we said, this is look at whether we like it or not, right? Whether we like it or not, we have to accept that no matter what TV show or movie it is, there's going to be some element of woke in it. The way we'll have to judge movies and TV shows now in the future is like what ones actually do it right, have the balance spot on. And that's the way we're going to be judging TV shows and movies from now on, I think, because this is not going away anytime soon. So I think right now, Lost in Space has gotten the balance just right. Now, if it starts swinging the other way, which I thought it was going to, but it didn't, it brought itself back. If it continues the same path that has been going on, and the stories keep getting better like they have been, well, then I'm all on board for. I'm on board anyway with Lost in Space, but I'll continue to be a fan of it because it is balanced in the way they do it. And if you strike a balance like they did in the Orville as well, you will get people to watch these TV shows. Because look at the Orville. The Orville actually dealt with gender change in the show. It also dealt with the class system, if you want to put it that way. We had the whole, the episode that was based on the parallel world where people were basically, you were downvoted or upvoted on your behavior. Then you also had the one in series 2 with the star signs. You were judged on your star signs, and it was like if you were a certain star sign, then you are automatically, a cunt, basically. So basically, it's like, it's like you are bringing up the racial issue, but within the context of the show.
Yeah.
Again, it's clever writing, and you can get a message across. If you want to get a message across about gender politics or minority oppression or stuff like that, you could do it. You could do it within the context of the show. You can get that message across. You don't have to actually do it directly. There's always a clever way of doing it.
Yeah, tell it through algorithm.
Well, I'll say that again.
Tell it through algorithm.
Yeah, exactly. Right, guys. I think that's really it, isn't it? Right, Geek Union. Sorry, I forgot.
That's okay, no.
Ask you what you've got on your channel. We can't leave you without asking you. So, what have you up and coming on your channel?
Got a couple more reactions to TV shows.
Right.
Us boys here on the channel have got a Star Wars related thing coming out at some point.
Lovely.
I can't go much into that, but hopefully it should be good. Yeah, a load of entertainment coming your way.
Good, and subscribe to all the channels, guys, because remember, the entertainment industry might be in the shitter right now, but you'll always be entertained on all of our streams. Trust me. I find watching YouTube more entertaining nowadays than I do watching actual TV, which is sad because it should never be that way. TV, movies, they're supposed to be escapism. We're supposed to, for the hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it is, we're supposed to escape the daily chores of real life and just be transported to wherever movie we're watching and just feel part of it, but not anymore, unfortunately.
Us YouTubers have more talent.
Yes, well, you certainly do, and Daniel and Purple Lady. I just win it. And so far it's worked. you know.
You're talented in your own way, Noel.
I
yeah,
try.
you are.
Listen, I try. Listen, I try my best. I know I'm not the greatest YouTuber out there that don't ever claim to be. I do what I do because I enjoy it and because other people enjoy it as well. As I've always said, as soon as me audience decide they've had enough of me, that's when I bow out. So that hasn't happened yet, thankfully,
And
and
I'm part.
hopefully it doesn't.
And I'm
Unless
part
they
the.
try to find a way of cancelling me, because I'm sure I wrote something up on Twitter that they'll drag up because you know what they
and
do.
I'm part. And I'm part the fun. And I'm part the funny Tardis channel.
Yeah, Daniel's been with me since day one.
Yeah.
50, 56, 7,
Yeah,
57.
57
Keeps reminding
subscribers.
me. He keeps reminding me as well. But I like the way Daniel reminds me because I have to remember how long it took me to get here
Yeah.
because it did take me a long time. So I'm grateful for every sub and every time you like or dislike a video. You know, it all counts. And every time everybody leaves a chat. And thank you to all you guys as well in the on the panel because
Yeah.
obviously
Cheers,
without
Noel, for
you
having us.
guys as well, you know, because I can only wing it for so long. So I need to bring on guests, you know, yourself. So I
Yeah.
really do appreciate it. And you will be back next Monday. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah.
Because and now you have a whole week though. You have a whole week now to make you our list. If you want to here, we make it easier. If you want to do a top 10 list of movies that you are you could do it right. 5 movies, 5 TV shows. You can all pick that you think might get cancelled with the current situation, and then just give a brief reason why you actually think so. We'll all do a list. I will even do a list. You know, I don't normally do. I do some research, but I don't do a lot. But I'll actually sit down and I'll do a list myself as well. So 5 movies, 5 TV shows that you think might be cancelled due to the current situation that we're in because it
Yeah.
is relevant because there has been talk about the Tardis changing. Now, a lot on the JBot side said, oh, it's only the Not My Doctor side actually talking about that. Actually, you're wrong. All fans are actually talking about it because of the current situation that's happening. So there is a debate going on because people want to defund the police. So there is talk of all of that. So it is relevant. So that's why I think this stream next week will be relevant. And if any of you guys in the live chat as well have used our own list as well, I will surely read them out as well. But it's going to be an interesting one next week because uh, it's going to be it because we will have to think about it because I'll have to go back now and start looking at movies myself. This is what's going to make this good. I'm going to see, but I already have 2 on my movie list already without even thinking about it. As I said, and my TV one, I've already got one TV. Well, I've got one TV show there, which I've already mentioned, which is Father Ted. I reckon that is gonna go because there is a couple of scenes in that would be classed today, even though I see it for the comedy that it was. But in the climate that we're in now, it could be it is going to be perceived as racist. I'm actually surprised it wasn't the first one actually to be taken down. I didn't think Faulty Towers would be the first one. I actually thought Father Ted would, and then I thought after Father Ted to be Faulty Towers, then Little Britain, and then God knows where else. You know, we just lost the plot. But listen, I'll go on again for another half hour, but I'm going to leave it at that. But listen, Geek Union, thank you for coming on. I know I only a short notice, but thanks for coming on.
Thanks for inviting us on.
No problem. Listen, as I said, next week we'll do it all again next week anyway. Purple Lady again, short notice as well, but again, not a bother coming on. So I really and I want people to know that was short notice because you know, fair play to you for coming on. Because you know, I do try and plan these streams in advance, but sometimes you know it doesn't go the way I want it, and then I announce the stream, and then I fall flat on my face. So that's why I didn't mention who was coming on tonight. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was on board. So, but listen, you said you would be here, and you were. So I want to thank Purple Lady and
Jim,
Geek Union and Daniel. I don't even need to listen. I know if I say Daniel, you coming on, you're on. So again,
Yeah,
thank you.
and I'll see you Sunday.
Yeah, we'll
for
be
the-
doing the Sunday with New Who.
Yeah,
Remember, every weekend. So we have
yeah.
Saturday Classic Who Remembrance of the Daleks. The hashtag Rabbi came up with it. It's hashtag
Unlimited rice
unlimited
pudding.
unlimited rice pudding. Right, but then on Sunday we start off with the David Tennant era. Now we're not starting off obviously with the Christmas special because we're going
As New Earth was
special.
starting off, isn't it?
Starting off with New Earth, the through the trailer up. So join us for those. So we have Doctor Who still on the channel.
Yep.
It's
Just good Doctor Who.
and then of course
Yeah.
there is anything to moan about. I will. But
Yep.
I just want to finish off the stream by wishing someone a happy birthday, actually. So apparently it's Jodie Whittaker's birthday. So I might as well be nice and actually say happy birthday. Now, I'm not going to sing her happy birthday, but happy birthday. Uh, uh, I wish I had some nice things to say, so I'm not going to. So I'm just going to keep my mouth closed. But I do wish you, and I do hope you had a good one. You're definitely not gonna have a better one than mine anyway. Because on Sunday I'm with all my friends on this channel, and we'll be watching proper Doctor Who. But
I'm going to sing happy birthday. You could just sing happy birthday to me now, but
no,
this is me doing.
She says, "What do you want to do for your birthday?" I says, "Well, there's no restaurants open. There's nowhere open. So like, there's nothing we can do." I'm not really bothered, to be honest with you, with this birthday as I was with last year's one. I mean, yeah, because to be honest, last year, as you remember, I took the day off. I actually didn't stream on my birthday last year, but I'm streaming this year because I don't really give a crap. I'd rather spend it with yous. The wife will be with me as well. I'm going to try rope her in as well on the panel. She'll be watching the episode with me. So that's a perfect birthday for me. You know, spending with all you guys and the wife and Ted. I'll have Ted. Yeah. And because we can't quite figure out when Ted's birthday was, Ted actually celebrates his birthday the same day as me as well. So it's Ted's birthday as well.
Very happy birthday, Ted.
So yeah. So happy birthday, Jodie. Many more to come. All I will just say is please step down from the rope. Please do the right thing and just leave. But there you go. I've wished her a happy birthday. I haven't said that nasty. She didn't dress up like a clown this year, so we didn't have to do a stream on her. You know, if you're going to turn up at your birthday at filming dressed like a clown, well, you know, after the things that you've said about the fandom, well, don't expect the fandom to sit there in silence and not actually take the piss out of you. You know, and that's why I got into this whole argument this morning. That's why Rabbi ended up bringing this J-bot on his channel this morning.
Oh, that was epic.
This person wanted me to promise that I wasn't going to go on to the Doctor Who official site to actually say anything nasty about Jodie Whittaker on her page. As I said, during this stream to ask me why I haven't actually went on to the official site to wish her a happy birthday. So I've wished her a happy birthday here. I'm not going to actually wish her a happy birthday in the official site because I can't stand the official site. Because the people behind the official site are actually uneducated. Because another thing as well, they'll wish her a happy birthday, but they didn't actually acknowledge the fact that Pip Baker died. So forget about it, you know. And anyway, I didn't even know it was her birthday, even though last year, because obviously it was a big deal last year because we were all on top of Doctor Who and we were still like talking about it. But this year, nobody gives a crap. Nobody gave a crap. I didn't even know it was our birthday. Didn't give a crap until you brought it up. But there you go. Happy birthday anyway. Thanks for ruining Doctor Who. It's not all your fault, but thank you anyway. The best birthday present you can give me now is on Sunday you announce that you're actually stepping down after the special. Yeah. No, you're not even coming back for Series 13. Do us all a favour. Come on. Do the right thing. You know, if you have any integrity, and Chris Chibnall, if you have any integrity as well, you just walk away. Do the right thing. You didn't want the job in the first place. but you took it anyway. You know, just leave. Do the right thing. Listen, I'm not going to be nasty. Just do the right thing. Leave, both of yous, and maybe then the fandom can heal itself, and maybe we can get the show back to its former glory. But I doubt it. But they didn't do anything about Pip Baker, and that pisses me off.
Yep.
So the people behind the Twitter account can go and kiss me ass because they're all mid-20 assholes, just like the ones that run the magazine and have run the show into the ground. So congratulations. Well done. He's won. But you didn't win much. Actually, yeah, they keep saying they won. You didn't win much. You won a show that has less than 2 million,
Sure.
3
Yes.
million viewers on its last episode. You've got a magazine that's struggling, and then you have all the franchise, Big Finish, and all the merchandise companies making classic stuff and
Yeah.
making new Who doctors, except for Jodie Whittaker because she doesn't sell. So yous are all responsible for that. And the thing about it is, if Jodie Whittaker was so popular, like you all say she was, well then why aren't any of you going out and buying her merchandise? You won't buy her merchandise because you don't actually like Jodie Whittaker. This is just all because you have a certain ideology, certain politics, and she fits that, right? First female doctor, of course, she's not going to get behind her because all use snowflakes. That's all you care about. You don't care anything about character development or story arcs or even stories for that matter. Once there's a character in there that represents one of you guys, yous are happy. It doesn't matter that Ryan Sinclair has a disability in Doctor Who and it's not betrayed. The fact that you mentioned that you had a disability and showed it a couple of times, that's good enough for yous. Now, for me, Union the Geek, Purple Lady, and Daniel, to us, that's lazy.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if someone like that has a disability, well, then you have to see it in effect during everyday situations. Shown it briefly 3 times during the entire series.
It's not good enough.
Not good enough. It's the same with Yaz being bullied. I would believe if I would have believed if Yaz was bullied if it was portrayed during the show. If we seen that happen, or they did flashbacks to her childhood where they kept showing this, that's why she escaped her normal life. She went on the TARDIS with the Doctor because she was screwed up from being bullied. That would have worked. But they literally have 2 scenes where she's talking to Ryan at the back of the dumpster, basically saying that she was called the P word, even though she's a cop. And cops do get called all sorts of names, right? But then we had another scene where we're supposed to believe that she was bullied in school, and she goes and meets this cop in the middle of the road, and then she goes back to her years later with £1 or whatever it was, 50p, whatever, and we're supposed to believe that Yaz was bullied all her life. That's poor character development, and it's poor storytelling.
Terrible writing.
And it's terrible writing.
Shit writing.
Terrible writing. And with that, we're going to leave it with that. So, Jodie Whittaker, happy birthday. Many more to come. But please leave Doctor Who. It'll be the best thing for us all. You know, maybe we can move on. Purple Lady, thank you for joining me. Pleasure, as always. I'll see you next Monday. Daniel, also pleasure. And I'll see you on Sunday.
See you Sunday.
Yeah, for the new Who. It's going to be interesting. And Geek Union, thanks for coming on, mate.
Cheers for inviting us.
Having you on, man. I'll have to get you on again as well, even after Monday again. I'll have to get you on again. We'll do some streams together as well. Maybe me, you, Rabbi. We'll do something together. I'm sure there's plenty we can do. And sure, here, listen, to be plenty of Doctor Who news as well. And Purple Lady as well. Listen, if you want to get a couple of the girls together as well, like you did the last time, we'll do another girly stream. I'll be female for the night. I'll identify as a woman for the night. Okay. Right, and we'll have a girly stream. How about that?
It sounds like a plan.
Right, grand. Right, so we have, listen, as you heard, we'll have plenty coming up on the channel, and I do have other guests that I will be bringing on in the next few weeks. We're going to keep changing it up on the channel. Doctor Who right now is dead, but we'll still do the classic and we'll still do New Who. But when it comes to the rest of it, I don't really give a crap unless something major happens, or I get any breaking news
Yeah.
on Series 13 or whatever's happening with that, I'll let you know. But other than that, I think we've said all we've had to say about Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall now at this stage. I
Yeah.
just wish the man would just leave. He is the main problem. Listen, if he left and Jodie stayed, I wouldn't be 100% happy with that. But he's the main problem. So
Yeah.
you brought someone else in, then we'd all be proven right on Jodie Whittaker. Because think about it. If a new showrunner came in, took off from Chris Chibnall, she stayed. Well, and they decided to keep her. She would have to up her game. She would have to up her game. She can't be cosplaying David Tennant and Matt Smith anymore. The problem with Jodie Whittaker's Doctor before we leave is that she hasn't put her own personality into it. There's none of Jodie Whittaker in it. She's trying to be like David Tennant and she's trying to be like Matt Smith rather than be her own interpretation of the Doctor. Even if we don't like it, it's at least she's doing her own interpretation of the Doctor, but she's not doing her own interpretation of the Doctor, and that's why we could see through. Right, I'm going to stop now. I'm definitely stopping. I said goodnight 3 times already. And Cheryl's always saying this. I never say goodnight when I'm supposed to say goodnight, so I'm saying goodnight. See you all. I'm going to leave you with this little trailer. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats, and thank you, everybody that contributed in the chat, and to all my guests again. Wonderful having you all on, and I will see you all soon. I'll leave you with this, guys.